coming up at 9. This first hour, we're going to be all over the place. Aaron Judge ties Roger Maris's mark last night. We will discuss that. The Redbirds wrap up their 2022 season. Got plenty of college basketball, Grizzlies news, as well as the Grizzlies get set for their first preseason game on Saturday. College football, the new week kicks off tonight with a couple of games. One, a rescheduled game moved up from Saturday because of the hurricane. Also, the NFL, week 4 kicks off tonight with Miami and Cincinnati. Will Tua be healthy enough to go? And we have some college football expansion rumors out there that we'll go over on the program. If you want to be a part of the show, you can always hit us up on the Sports 56 listener lines by calling in or texting in at 901-360-8255. You can also send us a message via Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, most of the social media platforms out there. And, of course, you can send it right to our website at sports56whbq.com. You ready? Ready to rock?
I am.
Did you wear a parka this morning to work?
I did not wear a parka.
I'm proud of you.
Wore the same thing I wore every other day.
You got shorts on, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, you're always the one complaining about when it's too cold. Man, it feels good outside. Just everything's 50, 60 degrees in the morning. Now, as long as it warms up a bit in the afternoon, which it will do, it's just fresh. Everything just smells better. It feels better. You bring in, you pull in that fresh air into your lungs. It's just a lot better situation.
It's also a lot fresher when the Cubs beat the Phillies again.
Oh, come on. I was going to text you, and I said, I'm not going to text you.
Game. You're going to miss the playoffs because you can't beat the Cubs.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
5-0. If we get the season sweep, you owe me lunch or something. I mean, goodness gracious. If you go 0-6 against the Cubs this year, you really should be kicked out of Major League Baseball.
I have no answers. You had Aaron Nola last night. You had the ace of the staff, gives up the 3-run bomb. The offense, non-existent. I took a shot with Kyle Schwarber. Thought he would go deep last night against his former team. Did not happen. And I'm just trying to lay low right now because I'm sweating bullets here. There's still plenty of time. If there was 2 games, 3 games, okay, maybe I feel comfortable. The Phillies have the tiebreaker against the Brewers. But the fact that we have, 7 games to go? Something in that neighborhood? And they're up a half a game? Full game, obviously, with the tie-breaking situation. But my gosh, I don't know what's going on here.
The good news is you only have to play the Cubs once more.
When is that, tomorrow? Today?
You have to be really worried if you had 3 more against the Cubs.
I thought we were done with the damn Cubs. Yeah, so thank you for getting my day off to a great start by bringing up that news. Yeah, I was going to text you, and I thought, maybe he'll forget about it. Maybe he won't remember it as we get ready to start the show. Nope, he remembers. Speaking of baseball, last night, Aaron Judge did get it done. So all those that kept betting Aaron Judge home run, finally it's happened, and he has tied the all-time American League mark set by Roger Maris in 1961. So Maris in 61 with 61 home runs. 61 years later, Aaron Judge with 61 home runs. Now the question is, can he get to 62? And unfortunately, it was a little short for the fans there over the left field wall in the front row to try to make the catch and
the one guy's got to make
money
the
off
catch.
it.
You brought your glove. You got to make that catch.
That was a long reach, was it not?
But you brought your glove. You're in the front row. You brought your glove. You got to make the play. You got to make that play. That's what you're there. That's what you brought your glove just for this moment. You got to make a play.
So it was retrieved by a Blue Jay player or a coach?
I think their bullpen coach had it first.
Who's married to the former sports anchor at ESPN.
Yes, Sarah Walsh.
Sarah Walsh, that's right. She was funny as hell on Twitter because she says, "Hey, I'm dealing with a hurricane here in Florida," and basically saying that we just lost our future right there. You gave the ball back. Why didn't you ask for something? That would be rare. That would be something unusual. A player, a fellow player, or a coach getting the ball and then asking for lots of things from Aaron Judge. I don't know. Maybe it's happened before. I don't believe when Tom House caught the ball in the dugout, Hank Aaron's 715th off Al Downing.
Caught it in the dugout.
Caught it in the bullpen. Caught it in the bullpen. That he had asked Hank Aaron for anything. I thought it was just handed over to Hank Aaron. But now it's a big business, right? You get these special home run balls. You can make a lot of money via an auction or just a regular sale. But it was not retrieved by a fan. It's given back to Judge. But now 62 will be in play to surpass Roger Maris. Now,
I know that along that, like, I don't like. I really don't I'm not part of the world, and people don't. I don't understand
Memorabilia?
why number 61 for Aaron Judge would be worth that much money anyway. Like,
right.
like a kid.
62 would be the one that would be worth a lot more, and I think it will be.
He tied an American League record, not even the overall record, and he's just tying the record. Like, I don't even understand. Like, I don't know how that ball would be worth that much money, but I mean, anything of that nature is only worth what somebody will pay for it. But I don't know why anybody would want to pay a lot of money for number 61 for Aaron Judge.
People will pay money for any type of memorabilia. Now, as far as it not being the all-time record, we know that Bonds and even McGuire and Sosa have had bigger home run seasons. That is certainly a very volatile topic. It is a polarizing topic. Some that say, hey, Bonds did it. Bonds is the all-time record holder. Others, including Roger Maris's son, who was there sitting next to Aaron Judge's mom, and they embraced when he hit that home run, they don't recognize the steroid-era home runs. I'm not sure what Cooperstown does with any of that. I know those players aren't in the Hall of Fame, but is the ball in the Hall of Fame? That Barry Bonds, the one that broke the record? I'm not sure. But it all depends on how you look at this. And it's become a topic even that's polarizing within the media. As people, some have said, this is ridiculous to see cut-ins, to have all this exposure for a guy who is tied for the fourth most home runs now in a season. And then there's others that say, no, it deserves this because Aaron Judge is doing it, as we know, as we believe, is doing it clean. And that's why there is this polarizing atmosphere out there. But either way, Judge 61 still has plenty of time to get to 62. They walked him his first time at bat, and I thought, here's another one of those deals because I jumped on it last night again, and then finally he came through with that line drive home run to tie Roger Maris.
Texter says, as big as it is that Judge hit 61, I think it's crazy how much emphasis ESPN has put on it, especially breaking into other shows. I think that Pujols hitting 700 is a much bigger deal, and it seems it didn't get the same coverage. Just seems like a little Yankees bias.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, it's New York. It is the Yankees. Yes, certainly. I think they're probably, they're going to play a little bit more to that. There probably is a little bias there. It's the biggest market there is. And which is the bigger deal? I don't know.
I think it's 700. There's only 4 guys that have done that. I mean, that's 700. That's a whole career. Albert Pujols, even before that, was a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. Aaron Judge is still young where he still has to produce some more seasons to be in the Hall of Fame. So he's not there yet. So
4 have hit 700. 5 have hit 60?
Yes. 3 of the 5. No, isn't it 6 with 60? We got Babe at 60, Maris at 61, Judge at 61.
Yeah,
Bonds, Sosa, McGuire.
So 6.
6. 3 are considered juiced.
So more have hit 60 than have hit 700.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I think they're pretty comparable. But yeah, I can certainly understand the point. And I don't know what if ESPN broke in for Pujols or any of those. And I know, well, the thing is, Pujols 700th came on what they were on
Friday night on the West Coast.
Yeah,
Los Angeles.
But ESPN didn't even have the rights. They couldn't even show the highlights till that game ended. They were on either Amazon or Apple. I think they were on Apple.
They were on Apple.
So they couldn't break in for those at bats when he hit 700. They couldn't even show that highlight till that game ended. So they didn't have the rights to it.
Right. So I would guess they would
different.
have. Yeah, I guess they would have. But in my opinion, I mean, what Aaron Judge is doing is spectacular. But Albert Pujols hit 700 home runs. That is a career thing. This isn't just a single season thing. But the other thing you have to bring up when you talk about Aaron Judge is he has become the face of baseball, and he will be the biggest free agent maybe in the history of the game. The money he's going to get after the season ends, and it's not a guarantee that he returns to the Bronx. So that all plays into it, plus what the texters said. There is a New York Yankees bias, the biggest market, as you mentioned. So you're going to get that type of coverage.
Yeah, so on that you have to understand, like some of this, especially with the new streaming and things like that, some of the stuff ESPN literally can't show the at bat. So there is a difference. But I do know that the night that he hit the 700, and again, he didn't go into that night even at 699. So they're not
Right.
leading up to that. They're not going to break in to show at bats that he might hit number 699. They never had a chance to break into at bats that would show him hitting number 700 because they both happened in the same game, in a game which ESPN literally could not show.
One other baseball note from the minor leagues. The Redbirds wrapped up their season yesterday in Nashville, winning 8-4. Tommy Parsons won his league lead tying 12th game. So the Redbirds produced the leading pitcher as far as wins is concerned. They also produced the leading home run hitter in minor league baseball, not just the Pacific Coast League. Moises Gomez hit his 39th home run. 39 dingers. I think he's like the number 20 prospect in the Cardinals organization. So a fantastic season. He was 3 ahead of Hunter Goodman, friend of the show, who hit 36. He was tied for third, 36 home runs in all of minor league baseball. But Gomez hits his 39th to wrap up the season for the Redbirds.
They also produced the most embarrassing highlight of the year. So it's all
that's true.
It was a great year for the Redbirds.
There was a lot of interesting things that happened with your Memphis Redbirds. Some sad news to pass along. One of the, I believe, old school OGs, if you will, original rappers, Coolio. Now, I know there were rappers before Coolio, but Coolio, when I was in college, it just hit the scene. It was a whole different ball game with Gangsta's Paradise tune, which was the Weird Al Yankovic parody later on down the road, and those guys had a great relationship. But I loved the song A Fantastic Voyage. When Lakeside came out with it originally, it was 1980, and I was in college, just starting my first year at the University of Maryland, and it was a great song. And then he redid it. He had a remake of it, and I thought it was even better. And Coolio was in Memphis. How many years ago was it when he was here for the Grizzlies game? Do you remember, Zach, when Coolio was here? I remember vividly when he's here because it seemed
I did not know you were such a big Coolio guy.
I like Coolio. He would be probably top 5 rappers for me because, again, he's old school. I tend to lean toward the old school guys. And I remember him doing, I think it was Fantastic Voyage that he did. He may have done both, and he struggled. He was struggling. He was overweight, like we all are, probably. Most of us are. I know I am. And he didn't look good then, so I don't know what the cause was, but 59 years of age. And maybe during the show, Zach, coming back from a commercial, we can hear a little Coolio and salute to the guy who just passed away again last night at the age of 59. Okay, so there's some college football speculation out there, Rumorville. I always enjoy this topic because some people just throw it out there on the wall and hope it'll stick. But then when it comes from credible sources, you start to think, well, maybe there's more to it. So CBS Sports came out with a report yesterday that if, not when, or they're absolutely going to do it, but they think there's a good opportunity for the Big Ten to grab more teams from the Pac-12. They already are getting USC and UCLA. We think they're getting UCLA, right? There's a pushback there. But the story indicates that they'd go after Oregon, Washington, Stanford, and California. And they get those 4, they'd have 20 teams. That would be it for the Big Ten. Of course, that would put the Pac-12 in all kind of peril. Well, then the report goes on to say if that happens, then the Big 12 will absolutely go after Utah, Colorado, Arizona, Arizona State. And with the additions of UCF, Cincinnati, Houston, BYU, that'll get them to 20. That does not bode well for the Memphis Tigers. But that would get to 20 for the Big 12. It would get to 20 for the Big 10. And that would be the death nail for the Pac-12. They would be absolutely done. There'd be no more teams. And right now, Andrew Marchand yesterday reporting that ESPN and Fox, in their dealings with the Pac-12, are hundreds of millions of dollars apart. So what can you do? And I can understand the network's point of view. It's volatile. They don't know what's going to happen. So, again, it's just Rumorville out there. But if it comes to fruition, there would be that end of the 5th Power 5 conference. It would be the end of the Pac-12, which is quite interesting because of the Rose Bowl and the whole Pac-12 Big Ten relationship, which has happened for years, right? The granddaddy of them all.
Yeah, I mean, this is the same stuff that's been kind of talked about. Those 4 teams have been the talk of the Big 12 since this all happened. And there's no doubt that Oregon and Washington are seeking cover. They understand that they are the 2 most valuable. And I'm sure the issues and the fight from the California Board of Regions or whatever on the UCLA move, maybe UCLA, that has motivated UCLA to try and encourage or help Cal to get in on the mix as well and just get everybody there. Then that's all settled because Cal's coming with us, so you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So, yeah, I mean, it's certainly all of that is, but from the very get-go, people kind of looked at that as a possibility. And so it certainly is no surprise.
And there's pushback from the Board of Regents. On one hand, you understand it. On the second hand, as volatile as the situation is with the Pac-12, with television contracts, or leave it even with their ability to survive, I don't even understand why they're doing what they're doing. I mean, because even though there's going to be travel concerns, I understand that this is a great deal for UCLA to go to the Big Ten.
It's try and pressure them to take Cal as well.
Well, they can only do what they can do, right? It's up to the Big Ten. But this goes back to this story. Dennis Dodd continues to say that their pursuit also coincides with a pursuit of another network, as Kevin Warren, the Big Ten commissioner, is seeking an offer from Amazon, which looks to want to produce more of a footprint in college football. And it said also that the addition of those 4 schools, the figure is believed to be less than $100 million annually. So it's good but not great, the additions of those 4 schools. I would think more so Washington and Oregon than Cal and Stanford. But I'm not saying they're a package deal, but that's what you would have to do to get to 20, and they would be more valuable, I guess, than anybody out there if there's anybody else in consideration. So that's out there. We'll see if anything comes of this. These rumors will continue on until we have more movement, and there is the expectation that there will be more movement.
I certainly would very much expect that Amazon is going to want to get into the college football world.
Yes.
The NFL has been a very big success for them. They said that first Thursday night game was the biggest day of signups they've ever had. So understanding that the football fans are willing to sign up for the product, and now you have a bunch of football fans who are signed up. You want to give them, as much kind of programming as you can in order to hold them and make sure you keep them. So I could certainly see Amazon, and what conference that is, I don't know, but I would certainly think that they would want to get at least somewhat involved in the college football landscape. It is not the NFL as far as viewership goes, but it's certainly knowing you've already kind of tapped into the football fans, you might as well continue to give them more product.
All right, when we come back, more on college football. There's a couple of games on the docket tonight. There's a fivesomes of games on Friday. Tomorrow's going to be a very busy day in college football. We'll get you, though, set for Memphis and Temple, which is a Saturday game. Also, Ole Miss and Kentucky. Got some news on that big battle in Oxford at Vaught-Hemingway Stadium. NFL tonight, Week 4 kicks off. We got some notes on that to get to as well. Also, Forbes has come out with their list of richest owners in professional sports. Want to talk about that on the program today as well. We're getting a lot in, jamming a lot in here in the first hour. If you'd like to be a part of the show, we always have time for you. Hit us up on the Sports 56 listener lines by calling in or texting in at 901-360-8255, or hit us up on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, or on the website at sports56whbq.com. I want to talk a little bit about FanDuel. I've been giving you this same game parlay for tonight. I got to be honest with you, I'm starting to get a little reservation on taking Miami. Tua, I think, is going to go tonight, and Miami gets 4. So I've been sticking with Miami plus 4. I don't think they're going to win the game. I think Cincinnati's going to win, but I have a feeling that this one is going to go right down to the wire, and it may be a 3-point game. But it's a tough one to play, I understand. But you can start NFL Week 4 off right, because this is a no-sweat same-game parlay if you've signed up for FanDuel, or maybe we'll sign up after you listen to this. So really, you're taking a shot, and it's not going to cost you anything. You may win. If not, you're going to get free bets back. So I'm going to go Miami +4. Again, as long as Tua is playing, Joe Burrow to throw 2 touchdowns for Cincinnati, Chase Edmonds to score on a touchdown for the Miami Dolphins. It doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or already have an account. Again, you'll get free bets back if your Thursday night same-game parlay doesn't hit. NFL same-game parlays are the perfect way to combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payday. Build your own or choose from one of the popular SGPs that are pre-built for you in FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. However you want to play, you can bet the NFL tonight with a no-sweat same-game parlay. Just sign up with promo code GASMAN, and if you don't already have an account, well, just sign up for one. If you already have one, you're all set. Just sign in to see what you've got. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or over and present in Tennessee. 3 legs or more, and the minimum bet is just $1. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet is $5. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call Tennessee Redline at 1-800-889-9789. Just underway on this Thursday morning, this is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey everybody, the deals are back for Chevy's truck season. I'm out here in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevy where you can save $1,000 on a new Silverado 1500 or HD with all the accessories you want. 1.9 financing is available on the new Equinox and your good credit deserves it. Or just take the $1,200 in cash, your choice. For tailgating or fall road trips, Kevin and Jeff are spot on making it happen. Or just pre-order what you want. And be sure to check out the certified pre-owned Chevys. All the pre-owns you're looking for, all here in Olive Branch. Or go to allstarautogroup.com. Jeep Wranglers, Tahoes, Grand Caravans, Ram, Laramie trucks. And if you want to sell any car or truck, bring it here to Jeff or Kevin at All-Star and get a check for some crazy good money today, even if you owe on it. And you don't have to buy a thing. And Gary in All-Star Chevy Service has specials on full synthetic oil changes, tire rotations, and brake specials. Remember, it's not the Pike, not South Haven, not Mount Moriah, Bartlett, or Collierville. Find new roads to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Hey, what QC Kinetics is doing for people here is terrific. Nothing short of amazing. I'm talking real lasting relief from joint pain. Hey, it's Greg Gaston. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in exciting new pain treatments with advanced regenerative medicine, non-surgical alternatives. If you're living with joint pain from injury or arthritis, don't let them tell you steroids and pain meds and surgery are your only options. QC Kinetics uses regenerative treatments that can restore and repair damaged tissue. All right, maybe you've been diagnosed with bone-on-bone arthritis and have been told you need a replacement. Call QC Kinetics now for an alternative way to deal with the pain. These amazing protocols work with pain caused by injury as well, like a torn meniscus or rotator cuff. Call QC Kinetics now. Don't delay. Don't keep living with that pain. Learn how regenerative medicine can give you your life back with no drugs and no surgery. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 901-445-1010. That's 901-445-1010. QC Kinetics. 901-445-1010.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Collierville Auto Center is all about trucks and Jeeps, and the inventory is all stocked up. Been looking for that special ride? You're covered from the basics on up. Want to sell your truck or Jeep? Then bring it in and get a fair deal. The technicians at Collierville Auto Center know just about all there is to know when it comes to trucks and Jeeps. So don't be afraid to ask questions. They've probably heard them all. Every truck on the lot has been fully serviced from top to bottom and bumper to bumper, and there are warranties available. Collierville Auto Center, 651 West Poplar in Collierville, and online at colliervilleautocenter.com. Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Right now, we're working closed streets on Austin P Highway at Jocelyn Street, and then also Covington Pike between Covington Pike Road and Austin P Highway. That is part of the road closure from this morning's accident on Austin P at Jocelyn. So keep that in mind if you're in that area. Austin P Highway at Jocelyn Road, that area or those streets has been closed. Other than that, we're working a police situation on Rivergate between Chicago Avenue and Horn Lake Road. Keep it right here. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
And realize there's nothing left, cause I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it. Me be treated like a punk, you know.
Welcome back to the show. The great Coolio and Gangsta's Paradise passing away yesterday at the age of 59. Currently 50 degrees, on the way up to about 75 today on this Thursday. If you've already joined us, thank you. If you're just tuning in right now, we appreciate that. I know there are some early risers, a lot of folks on the highways, and you heard the traffic update from Zach. All right, bunch of other stuff I want to get to in this second half hour of hour number one, and then we'll be busy with college football. Ryan Silverfield, 8:05, the Tiger football report to follow, and then the AutoZone Liberty Bowl inside college football hour. All right, the Grizzlies back at practice today. Camp continues. And then their first of 5 preseason games on Saturday. That will be a roadie. Then they're home on Monday night. They have announced that they're going to have an open practice, which will be a week from this Sunday. So Sunday, October 9th. And it's going to be all kinds of fun. They're going to have a lot of things out there at FedEx Forum and then on the plaza for the whole experience. But you'll have your chance to see the 2022-2023 squad in an open practice.
Yeah, they're going to do the little Plaza Party 4 where I know they got a chance for you to get into a little contest during the practice where somebody's going to win season tickets.
Very nice.
So that's pretty darn cool. So going to be a good time a week from Sunday down at FedEx Forum. So make your plans accordingly.
And season tickets that are a hot item. They have done really, really well with ticket sales. I mean, there's still tickets to be had, but they're going to have that new area, that standing room only area, some changes to FedEx Forum, but tickets are going well, and why wouldn't they after the year they had last year and the expectations for this year? The other thing is that we're kind of waiting for whether it happens in Memphis or anywhere else in the NBA is the deal with Jay Crowder. And the only reason I bring this up, and we had Pete Pranik on yesterday, we had DeMichael Cole on yesterday. Seems like the team is ready to go. Danny Green, even though he can't play now because he's hurt, seems to be a part of this year's team, although a nice commodity to have his expiring contract. But Jay Crowder going kind of back and forth with Ja Morant. Ja said, he acknowledged that Jay Crowder with that big three-point shot when the Grizzlies won, I forget what game it was and when exactly it was, but it was the first win for Ja as a member of the Grizzlies. And Jay comes back and tweets with the old cross, has his fingers crossed, little cross finger emoji. So to me, it just looks like a guy that really wants to be in Memphis. And who knows behind closed doors if they're trying to land Jay Crowder. It doesn't seem like they are. They haven't made the moves that we thought they would in the offseason. But that's a guy who out there would love to come to Memphis. I think he would be, you have said it, that you would love to see them pick him up for the right price. But there's no guarantees that it will be. But it's just interesting to see the back and forth between Ja and Jay.
I've I've been a Jay Crowder fan since his pre-draft workout with the Grizzlies when he and Draymond Green were both here. I was a fan then, and I still think yes, that Jay Crowder could help this team. What it would take to get him, I do not know. Obviously, the Suns don't have a whole lot of leverage here because he's not going to play for them. So, but I just don't know what it is that's going to take to get him.
Yeah, I was laughing at some of the responses when I read the thread, and the Suns fans ripping on him, and others saying we're going to miss him. And then the other person goes, we're probably going to have to settle for Brandon Clark, but I really want Desmond Bane. What? I threw up a little bit in my mouth when I read that. I go, are you kidding me?
That would not Desmond Bane would not be the right price. When I talk about the right price, that would not qualify as the right price.
Brandon Clark wouldn't be the right price. None of these guys would be the right price. What would be the move that would be made would be either to go with the expiring contracts and trade Green for Crowder and throw in a second-round pick. You're not going to trade a first-round pick. Killian Tilly could be the guy that's on the move. We were talking with DeMichael Cole about that yesterday because they're going to have to cut one player. But again, it just might be a fairy tale to get him. I don't think he's a game changer, but to have an experienced player who's actually playing. Again, Danny, I'm not sure when he'll come back, but he is expected to play at some time this season. I like Danny Green's ability to hit three, better three-point shooter than Crowder, but Crowder's a good three-point shooter, and he's an aggressive player, physical player. We know he's a good vocal guy in the locker room, but so is Danny Green with all his experience. So I doubt they'll make a move here, but I guess I wouldn't be floored if they did. The Memphis Tigers practice now underway as they get set for the new season, and a season that will bring about a lot of changes with the coaching staff other than Penny. His coaching staff, though, his assistants are all new, and a lot of new faces, a lot of new players. They will have their pro day on October 6th. That's not open to the public, but so next week, October 6th is what, Thursday?
It is indeed.
It will be their pro day. As far as Memphis Madness, I don't know if there is one. I haven't heard word one, so your guess is as good as mine if there's going to be some sort of an event for the kickoff of the basketball season. But Saturday's October 1st, so we're right around the corner from a couple of exhibition games and then the start of the season, and we know it's a daunting task for the Tigers as they will start the season with two roadies. They'll play Vanderbilt, they'll play St. Louis, and then they have the 3 games in Orlando in that tournament, and that's going to be an awful big challenge as well. We know they'll play Seton Hall. We know they'll play the winner, or in Nebraska, the winner of Nebraska, Oklahoma, or loser, depending on what Memphis does against Seton Hall, and then who knows who they'll play in that third game. But that's not easy to play your first 5 away from your home court.
No, that certainly is a different thing. And St. Louis is a good team. Vanderbilt is, I think, improved, and that's just a weird place to go play because of the configuration and everything else, and it can be a difficult place to play. So, it's going to it'll be a difficult start to the season for them with all the new faces. Not exactly a chance to ease into it.
No, not at all. And they have notoriously gotten off to slow starts, and it's cost them in the past. It didn't last year, but it's cost them in the past. I saw that some of the big prospects for 2023 are making their presence felt as far as announcing what their intentions will be for not for Memphis, but for the Madness events. It's no longer the Midnight Madness, right? They have them earlier in the night before, but you have different names for different schools, including Big Blue Madness, which is the University of Kentucky's version of their kickoff. And DJ Wagner announcing that he's going to attend Kentucky's Big Blue Madness. Now, I'm not sure if Louisville has the same type of an event the same night, but that's interesting. You have Milt, former Memphis Tiger assistant, former star at Louisville, who's part of Kenny Payne's staff at Louisville. Kenny Payne used to be on John Calipari's staff, and you would think that they are the front runner to land DJ Wagner. His father, for goodness sakes, I should say his grandfather, Milt. His father, DeJuan Wagner, a former Memphis Tiger. But Milt is on that staff, that Kenny Payne staff. But he's going to be at Cal's event, Big Blue Madness. I don't know. Do you look at that and go, yeah, I guess he's going to go to Kentucky? Nobody knows for sure. It's down to those two schools, basically. But he will be at Big Blue Madness. Also, just reading about recruiting. Yesterday we told you Penny was on the road. He was down in Georgia taking a look at a 5-star player. Now that the IARP has wrapped up, and by the way, I had some folks come up to me yesterday, numerous folks talk about the situation, and everyone had a smile on their face saying, boy, Memphis got away with one, or this is great for Memphis. It was all positive. And then we saw yesterday Penny out there with a 5-star guy, and he's always been able to recruit. He's not always landing the guys, and with the IARP cloud, that gray cloud hovering above them, they missed out on some guys. Now I think that it's cleared and everybody knows where things stand, that he's going to be back to landing these guys. He has nobody signed yet for the 2023 class, so that will happen sooner than later. But he has a team to worry about this year and a season to worry about. But he is on the move with his staff, recruiting their tails off to get players for both 23 and even 24 and 25. So they're looking at a lot of guys for the future.
It's a never-ending process, the recruiting trails.
You know, I wonder, Penny just, through all the crap that happened, right? Through all the hard times, not making the NCAA tournament his first, 4 years? And then going through this whole IARP thing, knowing that, he's been a big part of this community, giving his time, giving his money, giving his energy. He's Penny Hardaway, for goodness sakes. He's still high on the charts of shoe sales from Nike. He could be wherever he wants to be, he can live wherever he wants to be. And he's here, and he seems to be so committed from his time helping out at Leicester to being an East High School coach to here at Memphis. And he has survived this. And you would hope that this is the darkest cloud, right? It seems like Penny is going to be here for a long time. Again, unless something happens, maybe an NBA team comes after him, I don't know. But if this didn't take him down or sour him, it seems like unless the program's in the tank for they don't make the tournament for another 4 or 5 years after making it last year. I mean, he's going to be here for years and years to come. I don't see it any other way. What about you?
I think he's obviously very committed to the program. Was that before he was the coach, and certainly he has not accomplished what he has set out to accomplish. So I think there's much bigger goals for him to try and accomplish before his time here is done.
Yeah, you're right about that. I mean, he sets his goals and he wants to reach those goals, and that goal is to win a national championship. So I think in that sense, it's a great situation if you're a Memphis fan, knowing that this guy's commitment hasn't changed. It doesn't seem like. Now, I haven't spoken to Penny in a while, but I would imagine we're going to be over there on Friday. They have a closed practice, but the media is invited. I'm looking forward to seeing these guys, not only on the court, but talking to Penny with everything that has gone down. So I think now that it's over, there's a much more positive spin for this upcoming college basketball season. But we are in the midst of the college football season. Tonight, there are 2 games on the docket that I know of, unless there's anything else that's been moved. But you have South Carolina State and South Carolina, originally scheduled for Columbia on Saturday. It's been moved up to tonight, which is interesting because the hurricane is kind of rolling through that area now, isn't it? Like it went over the
I don't know when it's supposed to kind of arrive in South Carolina. I know it's.
My mother-in-law lives in Kiowa. That's why I know that. Like last night they were getting pelted, but I think it's maybe overnight. Maybe it already happened earlier in the day. But they moved the game from Saturday to tonight, so it's on schedule for tonight. South Carolina, a very heavy favorite, as you would imagine, 39.5. And then you got the BYU Cougars, 19th ranked in the nation. They're 3-1, and they are a 24-point favorite over Utah State. Utah State's been very disappointing. Blake Anderson's team, which gave teams fits, I thought, last year and the year prior, and they still have, do they have Bonner or Hatcher? I always get which one they got from Arkansas State that came with Blake. I think it's Bonner, isn't it? Logan Bonner?
I think so. I don't know, though.
And he has struggled. So, anyway, they're going to be playing tonight, 2 games. And then tomorrow you have 5, including Tulane at Houston. So Houston will go back-to-back Fridays. They'll be here next Friday to play the Tigers. Then you got UT San Antonio and Middle Tennessee State, a game that I probably didn't care about before the season started. Now I care about it after what MTSU did to Miami on the road. UTSA is always a tough out. They've had a couple of tough games, overtime games. They're 2-2. MTSU is 3-1. That's tomorrow night. San Diego State and Boise. Boise again with the news yesterday that Hank Bachmeier is leaving. Bachmeier is going to play somewhere else for his final 2 years of eligibility. Got Washington and UCLA. Both are 4-0. I think Washington's really good. I'm not so sure about UCLA. And then finally, New Mexico against a revamped UNLV team, which is 3-1. So busy Friday night. Should be a lot of good college football action, but it starts here on this Thursday night with 2 games.
And just on a side note, by the way, I know we had a caller the other day, and for anybody that has any family or friends down there in the path of Hurricane Ian, boy, it is some of the images from down there are just frightening stuff, man. It is one of the worst ones ever, and hopefully people are safe, and anybody that has those family and friends down there, hopefully your loved ones are okay. But man, oh man, that is some ugly, ugly stuff. It's a lot of water and a lot of wind.
Yeah, I got family in Orlando, but again, that's inland. But the hurricane went over that, and then, as I mentioned, my mother-in-law's in Kiowa Island, South Carolina. So a lot of people in the path of this hurricane, which is now a tropical storm, and then eventually a tropical depression. But the video, I watched a lot of the Weather Channel yesterday. Jim Cantori, he almost got taken out by a big old branch. I
understand this whole thing of why we send reporters to hurricanes. I mean, I get it. You're the Weather Channel, but you're telling people to evacuate, and then we send people there to report on it. Well, it's hard. If you're willing to send people into the thing, why do I need to evacuate?
Right, because if you're telling them to evacuate, like you said,
you got a reporter out there going, people get out of here. You just came here, so why are you telling me to leave?
No, we're going to show you your house that's underwater, unfortunately, when you've already left the area and hopefully are at higher grounds and in a safe area, and you're looking back at this depressing video. But, I'm a friend of Mike Seidel. Mike Seidel is a guy I know from Salisbury, and he's one of the elder statesmen. And, yeah, they go out there and, they do a nice job. They really do. But, man, so did you see yesterday some of the video from Fort Myers with the sharks?
Yes.
They were on the street swimming. I mean, God bless. And then there's always some idiot that tries to, he jumps in his boat or does something in the background. That's always been a part of the Weather Channel coverage. Folks, caramel apple season is here, and Halloween is rapidly approaching. Fresh, crisp Granny Smith apples at Dinstall's. They dip them in that chewy caramel. But you could also get the apples rolled in pecans or dipped in that Dinstall's rich milk chocolate. Heck, you can get all three. They call it the ultimate turtle apple. There is even a cashew crunch apple. I love apples. I love cashew crunch. I especially love that rich milk chocolate, the pecans, and the chewy caramels. This is a treat that was made perfectly for me. But as I mentioned, with Halloween rapidly approaching, get your candy at Dinstall's. They've been around since 1902, making sweet treats for Memphis and the Mid-South with 5 convenient locations at Laurelwood, Germantown, out in Collierville, Pleasant View, where they make the candies, and downtown Memphis. Whatever it may be, those delicious caramel apples, all their chocolate-covered fruits, the chocolate-covered pecans. I love the chocolate-covered pretzels, the cashew crunches I just mentioned, all kinds of other treats for those who are diabetics and things of that nature. Plus, you can have the candy shipped anywhere in the United States. It's Dinstall's, making sweet treats for over 120 years. All right, when we come back, Forbes has released its list of richest owners in pro sports. We'll tell you where Grizzlies owner Robert Parra stands. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
Did you know nearly 40% of men under 40 and over 75% of men over the age of 40 experience sexual performance concerns? At the Memphis Men's Clinic, their experienced physician performs a comprehensive evaluation that determines which specific issues may interfere with your sexual performance. These issues can vary and range from anxiety to medical issues, low testosterone, or erectile dysfunction. The Memphis Men's Clinic has evaluated hundreds of men of all ages over the years and reestablished a normal sexual life. The Memphis Men's Clinic will work aggressively to resolve issues and allow you to restore your sexual health and overall well-being. That's the Memphis way. If you're 20 years old or 90 years old, come and get cared for the Memphis way. Treatment that's based on your specific needs after a professional clinical evaluation by their experienced board-certified physician. Call the Memphis Men's Clinic today at 901-443-0475 or visit memphismensclinic.com.
Moving is stressful, but Black Tie Moving can take the worry out of the process. Whether you're moving across town or across country, moving your home or your office, your personal moving concierge from Black Tie Moving will work with you to design a plan that perfectly fits your budget and needs. And they're available 24/7 to answer any questions you have. Give Black Tie Moving a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis to get your personal, no obligation quote from the moving experts at Black Tie Moving.
Hey, what QC Kinetics is doing for people here is terrific. Nothing short of amazing. I'm talking real lasting relief from joint pain. Hey, it's Greg Gaston. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in exciting new pain treatments with advanced regenerative medicine, non-surgical alternatives. If you're living with joint pain from injury or arthritis, don't let them tell you steroids and pain meds and surgery are your only options. QC Kinetics uses regenerative treatments that can restore and repair damaged tissue. All right, maybe you've been diagnosed with bone-on-bone arthritis and have been told you need a replacement. Call QC Kinetics now for an alternative way to deal with the pain. These amazing protocols work with pain caused by injury as well, like a torn meniscus or rotator cuff. Call QC Kinetics now. Don't delay. Don't keep living with that pain. Learn how regenerative medicine can give you your life back with no drugs and no surgery. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 901-445-1010. That's 901-445-1010. QC Kinetics, 901-445-1010.
Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando is growing, and they've only been around for 5 years. Choose from hundreds of choices of wood, tile, vinyl, and carpet. Timmy, the owner, gets calls from people everywhere and can sometimes save them up to 50% on wood, tile, vinyl, and carpets. Jenkins meets all your needs from renovations to home building to installation. Enjoy buying excellent quality products at awesome prices. They're all about customer service at Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando. Call 662-469-9350.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings. Good morning. On Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. We know it's an early game for the Memphis Tigers on Saturday against Temples. They try to win their fourth straight football game. Ryan Silverfield will join us at 8:05, so less than 15 minutes. It's also an early game for Ole Miss. Going to be a lot of partying down in the Grove as they'll take on Kentucky in a battle of unbeatens. And part of the Grove experience for this particular Saturday will include SEC Nation, which is rolled into Oxford. It's not ESPN Game Day, but it's still pretty special when you have the likes of Marty and McGee and their show there. They also have the broadcast team with Feinbaum and all those guys, Tim Tebow. So it'll be a rip-roaring experience. A lot of fun, a lot of partying, a lot of good times to be had in Oxford. And For the Rebels, hopefully a win. They are a favorite against the Wildcats by a touchdown. We'll have our picks coming up in our third hour.
It's always a party in the Grove. And the folks at ESPN and the SEC Network and all them like coming there because it's a party in the Grove.
It's a party in the Grove when they play Troy, for goodness sakes. But when you play a big SEC opponent and you have, as I mentioned, the SEC Nation gang all coming there, it's a special moment. NFL tonight, Week 4 kicks off. Undefeated Miami, a bit of a surprise so far this year against the defending AFC champion Bengals at 1-2. Cincinnati's at home. It's a tricky line. Miami gets 4. Again, I'm going to stick with Miami. If Tua's playing and he's healthy, I think it's going to be a field goal game. But you're going to see a lot of big names, including Jamar Chase and Tyreek Hill, Jarvis Landry. You have Joe Burrow, of course, coming off a great season, off to a fairly slow start, although last week he got it back against the Jets. I think everybody gets it back against the Jets. Not the Jets, but no, that's right, isn't it? The Jets got their first win. And Miami, again, good team. We know what they've done defensively. They've compiled some really good defensive players. But offensively, going out there, getting Tyreek Hill to add to that arsenal for Tua Tagovailoa is off to a pretty good start.
Yeah, all the indications are that he is expected to play. We'll see what that means and what that might mean if he takes a hit or two. But yeah, he is expected to play. Of course, they've got a good backup in Teddy Bridgewater as well, if needed in relief. But the Dolphins off to a fantastic start and trying to stay undefeated.
Also, news that if the Buccaneers and the Chiefs can't play their game in Tampa, that game will be held in Minneapolis at a neutral site. But hopefully there will be a chance to play the game as people try to get back to their lives down in the Tampa area. But it's going to take a while. It is going to take a while for that cleanup. We haven't seen really all the effect of it. We've just seen bits and pieces of video. And I'll be curious to see what that looks like and if the Buccaneers can play that game against Tampa or against Kansas City. But again, if they can't play it in Tampa, they'll play it in Minneapolis. Yesterday, Forbes released its annual richest owners in pro sports list. Steve Ballmer, the LA Clippers owner, he is the richest at $83 billion. He's also the most excitable. Number 2, Rob Walton, who's the new owner of the Broncos. From that whole Walmart clan, $56.7 billion. David Tepper, the Carolina Panthers owner. Tepper is number 3. And I didn't see his number. And number 4, you may have heard of him. The mysterious Bobby Pera. Robert Pera, your Memphis Grizzlies owner. The 4th richest owner in all of professional sports. How about that?
He's done all right.
Ubiquity. You betcha.
From where he was when he bought the team, and there were kind of question marks about his worth and how much he had to where he is now. He's doing okay. Doing okay.
And that's why it was Zach Kleiman who said that money is really not an object for us. If we feel that there is a player that can help us, we are willing to step up to the plate. Now, nothing really happened, but they have signed all their players that you would expect to sign. Brandon Clark, he's the next in line, and he'll be signed. I don't think there's any doubt about it. But it's really nice to know that your owner has the deep pockets that he has. It's always a volatile situation, right, with stocks and companies and things of that nature. Number 5, by the way, rounding out the top 5, Steve Cohen of the New York Metropolitans.
Where's Kroenke at?
I only wrote down the top 5. I didn't see the rest of the list. But, Zach, maybe you can look up that Forbes list. Again, it's the richest owners in pro sports, the new 2022 list, which was dropped yesterday. He's got to be top 10 somewhere.
I would think so.
And he's probably pissed that Rob Walton's ahead of him now.
Walmart money spends well.
My gosh. All that crappy apparel, it adds up after a while.
Kroenke's number 8.
Number 8. What's 6 through 10? Give me 6 through 10.
Daniel Gilbert from the Cavaliers.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Cohen from the Mets.
Wait, he's number what?
Robert Pera from the Grizzlies.
No, you're going the other way.
Oh, I'm going the other way.
Yeah, go 6 to 10.
My bad. Number 7 is Jerry Jones for the Cowboys.
Okay.
Number 8, Stan Kroenke. Number 9, Stephen Ross for the Dolphins. And then number 10 is Khan from the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay, now who's 6?
6 was Daniel Gilbert.
Oh, Gilbert from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Okay, thank you. Yeah, they're all not hurting for dinner tonight, right? They can afford it, whatever the case may be. So there you go, Bobby Parra at number 4. Don't really have time to get into this. This is also something that came down yesterday. I always love these lists. Rolling Stone came down with its 100 greatest television shows. Number 1, Sopranos. Number 2, Simpsons. Number 3, Breaking Bad. Number 4, The Wire. I've seen all of them. And then we get to number 5, I've never heard of. Fleabag. Don't know what it is.
I'm 0 for 5, so I guess I got some watching to do.
You haven't watched any of those?
Nope.
Not even The Simpsons?
I mean, I've seen episodes of The Simpsons. I don't watch it.
So you haven't watched The Sopranos, Breaking Bad, The Wire?
Nope.
They're absolutely accurate with this. Now, Seinfeld's my favorite show of all time. It's not everybody's cup of tea. That's number 6. Mad Men is 7. I know Mad Men, John Hamm, but I've never seen it. Number 8 is Cheers. Fantastic comedy. Number 9 is Atlanta. It's last year for Atlanta on FX. And then number 10 is one of the OGs, Mary Tyler Moore, the Mary Tyler Moore Show. So there's your top 10.
So I've seen 2 of the top 10.
You don't watch much TV, do you? Either sports or not watching television?
I watch different television than that.
You watch the porn channels, don't you?
No, I watch reality TV. I watch some goofy stuff on MTV. I haven't watched any of those series.
My wife would tell you I watch way too much television. All right, coming up, hour number 2, we will kick things off with Ryan Silverfield, head football coach of the Memphis Tigers. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Spencer here with ATC Fitness. There's no better time of the year than now. Football and fitness go hand in hand in the fall. And with individual screens on each piece of cardio and multiple big screens throughout the rest of the club, you'll never miss a bit of the action watching your favorite team. ATC Fitness continues to be the Mid-South's choice for fitness, family-owned for 30 years, and proud supporters of Coach Silverfield and the Memphis Tigers. Join online at atcfitness.com. ATC Fitness, exercise your right to look good.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
You need concrete coatings, materials, and supplies in Memphis fast, and you get this answer? Oh, yeah, we got that stuff, I think, but it's in Wisconsin, so you're going to have to wait a few days for delivery. Why wait? Get your concrete coating and supplies now at TSS Supply. Everything that you need for coating concrete at TSS Supply, 5665 East Rains Road. And you're not dealing with just any supply store. TSS Supply specializes only in concrete coatings, materials, and supplies, all in one place. Most products are delivered same day or within 24 hours. Looking for a particular item, you need large quantities, or just have general questions, call them at 901-729-0565. Or you can email your question to Brad at tsssupply.com. All month in October, TSS Supply is celebrating its grand opening with 10% off your first order. Come by TSS Supply on Wednesday, October 5th for their official grand opening party. Sports 56 will be broadcasting live, plus have free food and prizes. TSS Supply, 5665 East Rains Road.
117 Prime is Memphis's premier downtown dining destination. But don't just take our word for it. Here are some of the things customers have had to say about 117 Prime. Stumbled onto this gym by chance and did not regret my decision. We didn't have a reservation, so we opted to sit at the bar. Even with this, the service was top-notch to that you'd expect tableside. And this from somebody else. The food was absolutely amazing. And yet another. I was focused on taking my time and enjoying every bite, and this was the best place for that. They have the best happy hour in town. The menu is solid with fair prices. Join these and many other people that have experienced the best meal in town.
The new era of Thursday Night Football is here, and it's only on Prime Video. Tonight, two of the NFL's biggest talents face off when Tyreek Hill and the Miami Dolphins head to Cincinnati to take on Joe Burrow and the defending AFC champion Bengals. Pre-game coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern with TNF Tonight, delivered by Little Caesars. Not an Amazon Prime member? Sign up for a 30-day free trial to stream the game. It's the Dolphins and the Bengals, only on Prime Video. See Amazon.com/watchtnf for details.
Hey, what QC Kinetics is doing for people here is terrific. Nothing short of amazing. I'm talking real lasting relief from joint pain. Hey, it's Greg Gaston. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in exciting new pain treatments with advanced regenerative medicine, non-surgical alternatives. If you're living with joint pain from injury or arthritis, don't let them tell you steroids and pain meds and surgery are your only options. QC Kinetics uses regenerative treatments that can restore and repair damaged tissue. All right, maybe you've been diagnosed with bone-on-bone arthritis and have been told you need a replacement. Call QC Kinetics now for an alternative way to deal with the pain. These amazing protocols work with pain caused by injury as well, like a torn meniscus or rotator cuff. Call QC Kinetics now. Don't delay. Don't keep living with that pain. Learn how regenerative medicine can give you your life back with no drugs and no surgery. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 901-445-1010. That's 901-445-1010. QC Kinetics. 901-445-1010.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Sports 56 traffic.
We got a lot of accidents on the roadway. Still working the accident on Austin P Highway at Jocelyn Street. They have closed down that area since this morning. That's Austin P Highway at Jocelyn Street. Also, dealing with a hit and run on Germantown Road at Stout. New accidents here on Shelby Drive at Airways, I-240 at Airways. The left shoulder is blocked. Accident on Parkway, South Parkway at Jackson Avenue, working accident there. Accident on Midtown 240 North at Lamar. So just take it easy out on the roadways.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
We welcome you back to Sports 56 Mornings. We welcome you in if you're just tuning in on this Thursday, September 29th, 2022. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy. Zach Boyd with you from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. A little nippy outside at 52 degrees, but it will warm up to 75. A Chamber of Commerce day today under sunshine here in Memphis and the Mid-South. Every Thursday during the Tigers football season, we get to talk to Coach Ryan Silverfield.
It's time to talk Memphis Tigers football. It's Sports 56 Mornings weekly visit with Tigers head coach Ryan Silverfield. Brought to you by ATC Fitness with 18 locations in Memphis and the Mid-South. Now, here's Coach Silverfield with Greg and Eli.
You can also follow Coach if you like on Twitter, although I'm not sure he's tweeting too much. You can follow him at Twitter at @RSilverfield. Coach Ryan Silverfield joining us now on Sports 56 Mornings. How are you today?
Good morning, guys. How are y'all doing?
Doing great. So coming out of the victory on Saturday against North Texas, you moved to 3-1. We saw what the defense did, which was tremendous, and we saw the struggles of the offense, not one of Seth's best games since his arrival. Was that pretty much your assessment, Ryan, or did you see other things when you looked at the tape?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, look, I think that what the defense was able to do stopping the run was absolutely tremendous, and then you talk about the takeaways. That's the key to everything, and it's can't be forgotten. You know, when you look at college football, the team that wins the takeaway margin always has a much greater chance of victory. Obviously, when you can get a couple pick sixes and a fumble recovery, that certainly helps the cause. But you know, you go back and look at that game, and I didn't think we were very efficient as an offense, right? Whatever it may be. You know, some runs here and there and then some passes here and there, but just not being able to sustain drives. Really, you look at that third quarter was the most disappointing because just the amount of times we had to punt, the inability to sustain, and then we ended up having to go 3 and out too often. And I think part of it, as I said in the press conference, is a lack of execution, right? It may have been one guy on this play, then the next play completely different position, then the next play a different position. And so you add all that together, and there's a recipe for disaster, and not be able to do anything much in the third quarter. And so, we took a deep breath and looked at it, and what I appreciate about Seth is he's like, okay, here's where I can get better here, here, and here, and be able to go out and execute at a higher level. And I know he's excited about the challenges for this Saturday.
So the last 2 weeks, each week you've set a new season high in rushing yards. Do you feel like the running game is coming along and getting to where you want it?
Well, I think, like I've said all along, so much of it's going to be dictated by what the defense gives us. And that doesn't mean that they tell us what we're going to do. But, again, if it's a 7-man box and it's an RPO, and, if the first play of the game is a called run, but there's one-on-one with Gabe Rogers and the guy's playing 6 yards off, we'll take that throw, and then he'll go get the yards necessary. And it's no different that if they decide they don't need an extra hat and we feel like we can match up well in the box, and we're going to keep handing that ball off. And if you can average, 5 yards a carry, you might as well take it. And, the running backs are running really hard. I think that's the one thing that, we can't dismiss is how hard the running backs are running. Are they the fleetest of foot? Maybe not, but they're a good, hard running backs that have great vision. And we're going to continue, like I've said, is, the running game really seems to be getting going midway through the third quarter. Well, that means, even if you're getting a 4-yard carry in the first quarter, that doesn't mean it's a bad run, right? Maybe that's a body blower. Maybe that's going to allow the safety to come up, and then now you're able to hit the post behind. And then, okay, now that safety's worried about the post. Now it's another handoff. Just playing that game, a little bit of a chess match.
You have played some really physical teams so far, and that will continue. Temple hangs its hat on its defense, a physical team. You will have other physical teams coming up on your schedule. I wanted to talk about the wide receivers, and I know you're high on a lot of these guys. You have depth with the wide receiver position. There isn't a Calvin Austin, although we have seen moments from all the guys. But overall, are you happy with what they're doing out there as far as whether it's blocking on a sweep or on some kind of run to the outside? Are you happy with the separation? Are they getting enough separation to be able to be open for Seth Hennigan? What's your overall assessment, Ryan, of what the receivers have done to this point of the season?
Yeah, they've done some really great things. Has it been perfect? No, right? There's times where they're not getting enough separation. There are times where they're not blocking like they're capable. There's times where there's been misread on a coverage and they ran the wrong route. So, but again, you're seeing the flash as well. Okay, man, they were able to get by over top of the sky with their speed. They were able to run a crisp, clean route and beat the coverage, right? They were able to block efficiently. So it's just like with everything in the offense is, can we do it in a consistent manner? And look, we knew Calvin Austin was special. We like this wide receiving group. We've got some great depth there. We just got to continue to go out there. And like we say in special teams, the stars got to be stars, and we got to go out and make plays.
So Temple has made the quarterback switch, and now you've got a freshman, the son of the Hall of Famer Kurt Warner. As you look at this Temple team, which has been a bit of thorn in the side for the Tigers year after year, it seems like, what do you see with this freshman quarterback and their offense?
Yeah, look, they've actually played 3 quarterbacks last game, right? And they had the former Georgia quarterback that actually started the season for them at quarterback. Then they moved him wide receiver, but he was in the game. And then they have another young man that was playing some quarterback. So they actually played 3 different quarterbacks in their last game. So a variety of different things we've got to be prepared for as a defense. But Warner is a very smart, efficient quarterback. He's got great touch on the ball. He's got quick release. It's kind of like when you're looking at it and just watching even a TV copy of what they were doing offensively, just get a feel for it. And a lot of comparisons to his dad. Now, I'm not saying he is his dad, but those things, right? The quick release, the intelligence, the ability to read routes. They talked about how he learned the offensive playbook even before stepping on campus. And so, we know what freshman quarterbacks are capable of because we had one last year that played at a high level. And they got talent. Again, they're another team that has brought in a bunch of transfers that have helped them. They got a new head coach. So every week we're kind of continue to learn what Temple offense is all about.
You mentioned when you got Mathis, who now is playing wide receiver, So when he's on the field at receiver, do you got to kind of like make sure that everybody understands, like, hey, there could be some trick play. This guy was the starting quarterback 3 weeks ago.
Absolutely. I mean, it's there's no doubt about it. I mean, you have to be alert to it because he's really capable. I think he's a 5-star quarterback coming out of high school. Now all of a sudden he's on the field, and he has the physical capabilities and tools to be probably an excellent wide receiver. And but yeah, if he's out there, right? I mean, there's going to be some type of reverse pass, a double pass. I'm sure it's being implemented into their offense, and rightfully so, because now all of a sudden they throw in the ball. Well, you come up and make the tackle, you got to go play in coverage and swing your head behind you, see who's trying to run over the top. It's a combination of things, and those guys can be dual threats. They can still line him up at quarterback. Shoot, he did start games for him, and and then they have another young man that played a lot of quarterback for him already this season. So, like I said, when you have 3 different quarterbacks that are playing for you on offense in a variety of roles, our defense has to be ready. And we don't want to sit there and say, okay, we got this. Right? What's our game plan, and how do we execute at a high level based off of what they're doing?
Yeah, it's interesting. Mathis gave you fits last year in Philadelphia with containment of the guy because he would tuck and run and he could move. And, Warner, I'm not real familiar with him, but if he's more like his pops, I would imagine he's more of a pocket passer. But as you said, you got to get ready for 2-3 quarterbacks. It's really interesting, Ryan, this whole season so far in the quarterbacks you have faced. You have faced guys that are sixth-year seniors, a kid in Mississippi State's quarterback, Will Rogers, who's one of the best chucking the ball in the entire country. Then you got the triple option offense quarterback with Navy. And now you go against a young guy who doesn't have a lot of experience. So you always got to be on your P's and Q's, getting ready for whatever quarterback it may be that you're going to face.
There's no doubt, right? There's been, we talked about this 2 weeks ago, right? The different variety of offenses that we faced. And, I'll be careful what I wish for, right? But you want to face as many young quarterbacks as you can. Obviously, we have one as well. But, he's a heck of a quarterback, Warner is. And, but they do have other guys out there, and that's what you're exactly right? If Mathis goes in, right, we got to make sure we're containing the quarterback rush lanes and be cognizant of that and aware to everything that he's capable of as well.
Not very often in college football you could face back-to-back quarterbacks who are 10 years apart in age, but that is what you guys are facing in these 2 weeks. That's a strange one right there.
I didn't think about that.
Their defense has been really, really good. I mean, you can look at any stat you want, and they rank well in the nation. But especially, they get after the quarterback and they get tackles for loss. What do they do to get the tackles for loss, and why are they so effective at doing that? And obviously, getting teams behind the chains.
Yeah, well, there's obviously something in the water up there in Philadelphia because that Temple defense has been, as you guys said, Temple's always been a thorn in our side, but the Temple defense, just for my 7 years at Memphis, has always been known to just be physical and get after the quarterback. And I still go back to I think it was our first year here. We played them, I believe, on a Thursday night, and they had 3 down defensive linemen. I looked over, I said, well, that guy's a first-round pick, and that guy's going to be a first-round pick the next year. And they were screaming off the edge. And when I was the offensive line coach, I think Norvell had a few choice words for me. Why can't we block those? We got 5 guys blocking 3. I said, well, when they're in the backfield before we get out of our stance, it's hard. But they do a great job of developing. They've had talent. They're third in the country in sacks, and so there's a reason. If their defensive ends, their defensive line has excellent get off. They've got great speed. They go speed to power with their rushes, and then they got linebackers that flow all over. So they've got a lot of faith in their back end that they can hold up and play coverage and then try to get after the quarterback. But they can. And some of those guys, they win the one-on-ones. I mean, you look at what Leighton Jordan's been able to do, and Darian Varner just on the edge. You sit there and say, "Oh crap!" We got to be ready for it.
I grew up 60 miles from that area, and I think there is something in the water. You go back, you look at Temple's basketball teams for all those years, always defensive-minded, physical. The football teams, always defensive-minded and physical. And these are one of those games, and I know turnovers is certainly something we bring up every single week. It's a big game changer. But you had some fumbles, some critical fumbles up there. That's the team that kind of forces fumbles because they are so physical. Holding on to the ball is paramount. Do you feel good with what you've done so far this season, holding on to the football? I know Seth's dropped a couple, but where do you feel as far as the running backs doing their job and holding on to the football?
Yeah, well, I don't want to ever talk about I don't want to talk too much about past experiences, but you're exactly right. We fumbled the ball literally on the 2-inch line last year, and then we fumbled it coming out on the 5-yard line. And so you think about how detrimental that can be to a team. And that's what, that in essence cost us the game last year. Obviously, I got to do a better job of continuing to preach owning the football, but we harp on it every single day with our ball security here. The backs, the receivers, the tight ends, the quarterbacks all got to continue to do it at a higher level. I mean, we'll watch film, and even if the ball's not coming out, tuck that elbow, squeeze it tighter, get it high and tight. And so, we don't want to continue. We have put the ball on the ground. Seth has some. Asa had that late fumble in a game. So, but we've got to, if we can play well with ball security, gives us an opportunity, especially versus a defense like this. And you're exactly right. I mean, that can be all the difference in the world, and they're going to, Temple's defense got to do everything they can to swing at that ball and try to get it out.
They have one guy who blocked 3 punts in one game. I assume there's a plan on your punting to know where he is.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, you want to talk about changing the game. Well, first off, we certainly hope we're not bringing out our punter as many times as we were last weekend. I told Joe Doe he's a nice young man, but I'm tired of seeing him.
Hey, at least he's qualified, and now he's the number one punter in America. Before he hadn't punted enough to be qualified.
Good. Hopefully now he's qualified. We can leave him, and let's not add to those stats much. But yeah, I mean, look, they do an excellent job. I think that's part of their mindset, their approach, right? Play really great defense, play sound offense, and find a way to attack you on special teams. So we've got to be great. And I've mentioned that our special teams hadn't been pleased with it. Our punt unit was significantly better last weekend, but our kickoff coverage continues to be an issue. The one with ball placement of the kicker itself. I mean, I'll point at individuals, and like I said, I've got to do a better job, I guess, teaching those guys how to kick a ball where it needs to go into the end zone. But we've got to cover down better, and that is a concern of mine, and I've made it well known that it's not where it needs to be. It's not the standard, especially the special teams that we've had here at Memphis.
I know that your teams are always prepared and you're never looking ahead. I don't believe we're going to get you on next week because of the schedule change with the Friday night game. But this is one of those things I look at, from the outside, and I go, it could be a trap because if Houston coming in next Friday, you've won 3 in a row, you're a heavy favorite by Vegas for what that's worth. But the thing that we all know is that Temple has had your number a couple of times in the last 3 or 4 years. So certainly I think that has the attention of your team. Yeah, well, there's no doubt. Look, I mean, but I think we take everything one day at a time, one game at a time. Our guys have been fantastic with their focus and their mindset and their approach. I can promise you nobody is looking past Temple and what we need to accomplish, right? We wake up and roll out and go play a great team in a conference game in our stadium. So our guys are dialed in, and trap games, I don't even know what that means anymore, right? Every team's capable of everything. So it's a team that proved they're capable of beating us, and they did so last year. And we've seen a lot of them, right, over the years, especially up in Temple, right, where they've been able to get the best of us. So we've got to go out there and play our best game, and our guys got to have a continued great focus all the way till the final whistle. And you need those fans to get out there bright and early to be supporting you. Absolutely. Look, the fans have been fantastic so far. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful Saturday morning. The game's going to be on national television, ESPNU game, so a chance to showcase everything that we have to offer this city does, but also when the fans show up and they're in the stands, it bodes so well for our city and our community. He is Coach Ryan Silverfield, head coach of your Memphis Tigers. You can follow him on Twitter at @rsilverfield. Coach, we'll see you on Saturday morning. Absolutely. Thanks so much. Go Tigers. Take care. James Gaddis Jewelers, second-hour sponsor of Sports 56 Mornings, located at 4900 Poplar Avenue between Mendenhall and St. Nick. On the web at gaddisjewelers.com. You can call them at 901-767-9648. James is a big supporter of University of Memphis Athletics. He's from here. Now, he attended Notre Dame, and he is a big supporter of the Irish as well. But boy, oh boy, does he support and back the Memphis Tigers and our connection here with the Tigers, with myself, Wolo, and that's why he's been a part of our station as a sponsor here on this particular show for a long, long time, and we can't thank him and his family enough. It is a family-owned and operated business. Look, they've been around a long time, so they got to be doing something right. 25 years, basically, in that same East Memphis location. Started at Poplar Ave, or started on Summer Avenue years ago, years before that, right? So before those 25 years on Poplar, they were on Summer Avenue. They've been a part of the fabric of this community. James is a master jeweler, certified appraiser. He's a diamondologist, and he's graded by the Gemologist Institute of America. So, in other words, he has all the credentials. They are your bridal, engagement, and anniversary jeweler headquarters. So if you're looking for that special diamond engagement ring, beautiful wedding rings, that's the place to go to. If you're looking for fine watches, including Rolexes, new and used, that's the place to go to. They have tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones of all types, bracelets, necklaces. They also have estate and vintage jewelry, and they're always adding to that collection. So there's always going to be something new when you walk into that store. James has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings. Also, 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing is available. James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick. You can't miss it in the heart of East Memphis, on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. When we come back, we'll continue the countdown to the Tigers and Temple Owls with the Tiger Football Report. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
The Gossett Mitsubishi Summer Sales Event is still going strong at Gossett Mitsubishi on the Pike. Get ready to embrace adventure like never before in 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport, $339 a month or $26,390. Get dramatic performance off-road, on-road, and everyday driving in 2023 Eclipse Cross, $409 a month or $31,085. And breakout and standout in 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander. With 7 seating capacity, we Gossett at $419 a month or $31,605. Plus, peace of mind with our stellar 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 75 months at 4.44 APR, 500 military rebate, 4,900 down. Sport NU 017062, MSRP 27,140. Cross PC 000695, MSRP 31,585. Outlander NZO 84348, MSRP 32,105. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/1/22 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
So what if summer's coming to a close? It'll be back, and you'll be ready with a new spa. Why's that? Because the world's biggest spa sale is happening right now at Family Leisure. Right now, through October the 2nd, you will get the best ever prices on spas. Family Leisure has a large selection of spas still in stock and ready to ship, and up to 30% off. Yes, 30% off in-stock spas. You want a swim spa? Now's the time to buy with huge discounts just for you. Special financing is available. Plus, you can get free upgrades on select spas. Just ask about it. Family Leisure also has fantastic deals on saunas and massage chairs. So, while summer is coming to a close, you should be opening up to a new spa during the world's biggest spa sale happening right now through October the 2nd at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Hey, what QC Kinetics is doing for people here is terrific. Nothing short of amazing. I'm talking real lasting relief from joint pain. Hey, it's Greg Gaston. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in exciting new pain treatments with advanced regenerative medicine, non-surgical alternatives. If you're living with joint pain from injury or arthritis, don't let them tell you steroids and pain meds and surgery are your only options. QC Kinetics uses regenerative treatments that can restore and repair damaged tissue. All right, maybe you've been diagnosed with bone-on-bone arthritis and have been told you need a replacement. Call QC Kinetics now for an alternative way to deal with the pain. These amazing protocols work with pain caused by injury as well, like a torn meniscus or rotator cuff. Call QC Kinetics now. Don't delay. Don't keep living with that pain. Learn how regenerative medicine can give you your life back with no drugs and no surgery. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 901-445-1010. That's 901-445-1010. QC Kinetics. 901-445-1010.
Scott Graham here from Westwood One. Thursday night primetime action coming up when the red-hot 3-0 Miami Dolphins travel to Cincinnati to take on Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Ian Eagle and Hall of Famer Tony Baselli will have the call on air or on the free live stream sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Don't miss any of the action on Thursday Night Football.
Right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I had a nighttime routine for my frequent heartburn. I would drink milk, I would sleep upright with more pillows, but that painful burning stayed. So I made Prilosec OTC part of my morning routine. With just one pill in the morning, Prilosec OTC prevents excess acid production, blocking heartburn day and night. Now I have a new nighttime routine. I call it sleeping.
One pill, 24 hours, zero heartburn. With Prilosec OTC. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
The new era of Thursday Night Football is here, and it's only on Prime Video. Tonight, two of the NFL's biggest talents face off when Tyreek Hill and the Miami Dolphins head to Cincinnati to take on Joe Burrow and the defending AFC champion Bengals. Pre-game coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern with TNF Tonight, delivered by Little Caesars. Not an Amazon Prime member? Sign up for a 30-day free trial to stream the game. It's the Dolphins and the Bengals, only on Prime Video. See Amazon.com/watchtnf for details.
Hey, Jeff Allen, it's a great day to be happy in a new Kia from Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah. What you got going on?
Randy, we'd love to make you happy with the all-new 2023 Kia Seltos LX all-wheel drive. Just $257 per month for 36-month lease and only $29.99 due at signing. Or how about a 2023 Kia Sportage LX front-wheel drive, $287 per month for 36-month lease, $34.99 due at signing.
That's what I'm talking about, Jeff. You got me happy.
And listen, Randy, if you don't see what you want, no problem. We'll order exactly the perfect ride for you, and you choose your own bells and whistles.
Plus, equipped with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia Mount Moriah.
2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com. $650 acquisition fee, $30,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage, 0 security deposit. Seltos P738, 6423, MSRP 25325. Sportage P709, 8842, MSRP 27955. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Kia. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/1/2022. Dealer stock only.
Sports 56 traffic.
The accident on Austin P Highway at Jocelyn Street, the accident has been cleared, but we're still dealing with the accident on Covington Pike between Covington Pike Road and Austin P. So we're still dealing with that accident there. Airways at Shelby Drive, still dealing with that. South Parkway at Jackson. Midtown 240 North at Lamar, the right lane is blocked. And then we have a new accident on Germantown Road south at Wolf River Boulevard. Keep it right here. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Cause you can't have the hop if you don't have the hip. Grab your with the extra. Close your eyes and hit the switch. But come to a place where everybody kick it. Get after kick it. Ain't no blood, ain't no gripping.
Fantastic
no
Voyage, that's the remake from the late rapper Coolio, who unfortunately, the sad news yesterday, he died at the age of 59. Remade that original rap song from Lakeside back in 1980, again called Fantastic Voyage. One of the OGs, Coolio. We continue with the Tiger football report. The Tigers and Temple. We heard from Ryan Silverfield. Now we hear from my partner, Eli Savoy.
The Tiger Football Report brought to you by Crab Kings, Bin Swinger Glass, Central Barbecue, and Hemp 2.0. It is the Tigers, 3-1, 1-0 in the conference with their home conference opener, taking on the Temple Owls, 2-2 on the year. This is their conference opener. It's an 11 a.m. kickoff on ESPNU out at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. The Tigers currently at 18.5-point favorite, and the over-under sitting right now at 50.5. The series, Temple leads the series all time. This is the 8th meeting. Temple has won 4 of the first 7. The Tigers do have a 2-1 advantage here in Memphis. Last year, Temple winning the game 34-31 after they came back from 17-0 down to beat the Tigers. Tigers with a couple of key fumbles in that game, and they blow the 17-point lead. It's a new coach for Temple, Stan Drayton, in his first year. He was with Texas previous to this, where he was associate head coach and the running game coordinator. He has been around the college game a long time, a little bit of NFL experience with the Bears as well. His college experience goes all the way back to 1993, including a couple of brief stops in the region, and 1 year at Mississippi State, 1 year at Tennessee. And he and Memphis offensive line coach Jim Bridge actually coached together at Bowling Green in 2000. So Stan Drayton's been around a long time, finally getting a chance to be a head coach. Ryan Silverfield, third year now with the Tigers, 17-11 the record for Silverfield. Temple has wins versus Lafayette and UMass. Not exactly murderer's row for those two wins. Losses to two Power 5 schools in Duke and Rutgers. The offense has been really bad. If you just kind of draw out of a hat a statistical category, they've been bad in it offensively. Their national rankings, 109th passing, 121st running, 124th in total offense, 117th in scoring offense, 120th in third down offense, and 128th in turnover margin.
No bueno.
So it's not good. Not good. And again, they've won 2 games out of that.
Because of their D.
But at quarterback, they did make the change in the middle of the second game when Georgia transfer Dwan Mathis was taken out, and he was replaced by the freshman E.J. Warner, who wears number 13. He is the son of the Hall of Famer Kurt Warner, and he is now the starting quarterback. He has started the last 2 and is expected to get the start in this one. Mathis now actually has been moved to wide receiver. He is listed on the depth chart as a wide receiver, and that is expected to be the position he plays the rest of the way. Warner, 561 yards, 5 touchdowns, 3 interceptions in the 2+ games that he has been in there. And the third quarterback that Ryan Silverfield talked about is Quincy Patterson. He is now the backup. He leads the team in rushing touchdowns with 2. So he's a guy they like to come in, use his legs, especially down in goal line situations. But he has seen action in each of the games, so he could very well be in there. Mainly, it looks like down at the goal line for those types of situations with a package for him to run the football. The wide receivers, 2 main targets. Number 5, Adonicus Sanders is their team leader in catches with 17 and yards with 236. Now, of those 236 yards, 191 of them have come in the 2 games since Warner took over. So he didn't have a whole lot with Mathis, but now that Warner has taken over in 2 games, he's got 191 yards. He does have 1 touchdown on the year. The other wide receiver, Sanders wears number 5. Number 10 is Jose Barban. Barban is second in catches and yards, 16 catches, 183 yards. Last year against Memphis, he did have 7 catches in the game and a touchdown. The running backs, number 28, Darvin Hubbard, leads the team with 116 yards on 26 carries with 1 touchdown. The starting running back is number 23, Edward Sadie. He's got 38 carries, but he's only averaging 2.8 yards per carry. So 106 yards and 1 touchdown on the year for Sadie. Again, they have struggled in every way, shape, and form offensively. They don't run it well. They don't pass it well. Although, again, the passing game is a little bit better now that Warner has taken over at the quarterback position.
Seems like issues with that offensive line.
Yeah, I mean they've got a lot of problems. The defense, though, the exact opposite. Again, you can draw pretty much any statistical category out of a hat. The defense has been really good. They are 5th in the country against the pass. Running, they're not. They're 57th against the run, but 16th in total defense, 18th in scoring defense. They only give up 15 points per game. They're 3rd in third down defense, which was a problem last week for Memphis. And on third down, Temple only gives up 19% conversion on third down for the season. Part of that is they get you in a lot of 3rd and longs because they get after your quarterback and they get tackles for loss. Tied for 2nd in the nation with 36 tackles for loss. So averaging 9 tackles for loss per game. They are tied for 3rd in sacks with 15. So averaging nearly 4 sacks per game. The guys to watch on defense, number 11, Kobe Wilson, linebacker. He's the team leader in tackles with 25. Then they have 3 guys with at least 6 tackles for loss, which puts all 3 in the top 20 in the country. By comparison, the Tigers' leading man in tackles for loss has 2.5. They have 3 guys with at least 6. They have 3 guys in the top 20 in the country in tackles for loss. Linebacker number 6, Jordan McGee, has 6. Defensive end number 9, Darian Varner, has 6. And then outside linebacker, edge rusher number 13, Leighton Jordan, has 7.
And I know there's probably some people going, all right, look who they played. Lafayette, UMass, they played bad teams, and they have. But they're still good. That's what they hang their hat on, and they have done this for years, the Temple defense.
Well, again, I mean, Duke and Rutgers, while they're not powerhouse Power 5 teams, they have played 2 Power 5 teams. And it's not like Duke and Rutgers are terrible this year.
Well, what I'm saying is maybe those numbers were accumulated most of all from those 2 weak teams that they played.
Jordan, by the way, also leads the team in sacks and is tied for 5th in the country in sacks with 4.5 sacks on the year. And Ryan Silverfield mentioned both he and Varner. Those 2 guys off the 2 edges, number 9 and number 13. You will want to make sure, the Tigers will want to make sure they know where they are, and those are 2 of the guys you want to keep an eye on. Their special teams, again, much like the other, they're not good offensively, special teams. They are good defensively, special teams.
Go figure.
They're 111th in punt returns, 118th in kickoff returns. But they're 5th in punt return defense and 4th in kickoff return defense. And I mentioned they did block 3 punts in one game against Lafayette. Yes, it's only Lafayette. But number 88, Devon Fox, he blocked all 3 of them. So when the Tigers line up to punt, you got to know where number 88 is. 3 punts in one game. And their kicker is 0 for 2 on field goals this year. Has not made a field goal yet. So, again, special teams, he is perfect on point afters, 10 for 10, but he is 0 for 2 on field goals on the season. The Tigers' offense, by comparison to Temple, averages 140 more yards and 19 more points per game than what Temple is averaging on the year. Seth Hennigan, coming off a career-low passing yardage last week with just 141 yards in the game against North Texas. That is his career low in his now 1.5 seasons, basically, as the quarterback. Also threw his first interception of the season last week. For the year, just over 1,000 yards, 1,081 yards, 8 touchdowns, and just the 1 interception. Did have a nice game against Temple last year in the loss. Threw for 305 yards and 3 touchdowns. He has been spreading the ball out. Tigers with 5 receivers now with double-digit catches on the season. Tight end Caden Prescorn has taken over the team lead in receptions. 15 catches, 138 yards, and a team-high 4 touchdowns. Gabriel Rogers has the most yards with 221 on 14 catches. Then you've got Javon Ivory with 13 catches for 152 yards. Eddie Lewis also in double figures with catches. Ivory, by the way, last year had a couple of touchdown catches in the game against Temple. 5 catches, 73 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Ivory in the game last year in Philadelphia. While Seth Hennigan had a career low passing yardage last week, the running game set a new season high for rushing yards for a second straight week with 191. Brandon Thomas leading the way with the 84 yards and 2 touchdowns. Thomas now 191 yards, 4 touchdowns for the year, leading the team in both categories. Jay Ducker, 174 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then you got Asa Martin with 139 and 1 touchdown. The Memphis defense, now 123rd in the nation against the pass, after they gave up the 371 yards last week to North Texas. They're giving up 298 passing yards per game. They did have the 2 pick sixes, though, last week. So while gave up a lot of yards, when you throw in 2 pick sixes, you can deal with that.
They made up for it big time, but it is a concerning number moving ahead in conference play with some of these teams and their quarterbacks. There are a lot of good quarterbacks in the American Conference, veteran quarterbacks. Those numbers got to be better.
They have now forced a turnover in 9 straight games, and they've had multiple turnovers in 7 of the last 8. And I talked about Temple, how good they are in both sacks and tackle for loss. Not so much for the Tigers. 100th in the country in both sacks and tackles for loss this year. Quindell Johnson continues to lead the way for the Tigers defensively, leading them in tackles, has 2 interceptions, fumble recovery as well. He had a career high last year, 15 tackles against Temple in that game. Jalen Allen, who had the pick 6 last week, 2nd in tackles. He leads the Tigers in sacks with 2. Xavier Collins also had the pick 6 last week. But nobody on the Tigers has more than 2.5 tackles for loss. And you're talking about Temple with 3 guys with at least 6.
Matt Barnes does get a lot of players in. He rotates a lot, but that's still no excuse not to get more pressure on the quarterback.
And in special teams, Chris Howard missed an extra point last week. That was his first miss of the year, and it's his only miss. He is still perfect in field goals, 6 for 6. And Joe Doyle, yes, as I mentioned last week, Joe Doyle had not punted enough to be qualified for the national leaders officially. Well, Ryan Silverfield's not happy about it, but Joe Doyle is now qualified, and not only is he qualified, Joe Doyle leads the nation in punting, 47.8 yards per kick. Is number one in the country for Joe Doyle, of the Memphis Tigers. The Tigers, again, an 18.5-point favorite, 50.5 the over-under. I mentioned that Temple leads the series 4-3. Temple is 7-0 against the spread all-time against the Tigers. Tigers have never covered the spread against Temple in their 7 meetings. Tiger Football Report brought to you by Crab Kings, Ben Swanger Glass, Central Barbecue, and Hemp 2.0. 11 a.m. Saturday morning, Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, televised on ESPNU.
Early morning for everybody. All right, couple of notes. We talked about the schedule for Temple. They are number 127. Their ranking for toughest schedule is 127th out of 131 teams in FBS. Duke, by the way, you mentioned a good team at 3-1. They got the 109th toughest schedule. So, how good are they really? And then if you're wondering about Memphis has the 66th. Now, this is up through 4 games. The 66th hardest schedule through the first 4 games. Not what was projected before the season started.
Yeah, I mean, Temple's 2 wins are against an FCS and maybe the worst FBS team.
But with that said, Memphis last weekend lost 2 offensive linemen, and we weren't going to ask Ryan about that because he doesn't talk about injuries. He makes an initial statement early in the week with his group media availability. And then, sometimes he answers when I ask, but I'm not sure, and we won't know until Saturday. I'll probably know later today in the coaches' meeting, but something I can't make public. But they are thin already, and if those 2 guys aren't starting, then they're thinner. And they have a young left tackle. And you just talked about with all those stats, that Temple front, all those tackles for losses, they get to the quarterback. They cover in the secondary, too. So a lot of times it's coverage sacks, right? You have nobody to throw to, and they have time to get to you. But again, we'll see just how formidable they are, or was it because of the lack of competition, although they've played 2 decent teams so far through 4. The track record would tell me that Temple will come prepared. They will be a physical team for Memphis, and as long as Memphis doesn't put it on the ground or throw picks, and they had trouble last year with those fumbles, they should win. But those numbers, again, it just floored me when I saw 20 originally for Memphis in the opening line. It's now, what'd you say, 18.5?
18.5.
And I think in our pick 6, we may go 19, whatever I sent you yesterday. That's a lot of points. That's a lot of points.
Against 11 a.m. kickoff, if you don't have tickets and you want some, well, I just so happen to have some. I've got 4 tickets for the Tigers and Temple on Saturday, and I'll give them to caller number 6. Caller number 6, 901-360-8255. Caller number 6, 4 tickets to go see the Tigers and Temple on Saturday. Again, the early kickoff, 11 a.m. 901-360-8255. Caller number 6, 4 tickets. And again, as usual, you don't even need to come pick them up. I will send them to you digitally. It's one of the great things with the digital tickets. They're easy to give to somebody else. So 4 tickets for caller number 6 to go see the Tigers and the Owls.
It could be the gift that keeps on giving. Just keep sending it to the next person. It's digital, for goodness sakes. All right, we will take a timeout. When we come back, get back to some headlines from the world of sports. And then in hour number 3, we'll be joined by Harold Grader for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. You are tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe, unlimited inventory, every make and model, and if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
When the weather gets better, I found a new place to really soak it in. It's the patio at the Commissary in Collierville. We all love the delicious Memphis-style barbecues. You can begin your barbecue fest with some great appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales or the barbecue nachos. Oh, those smoked chicken wings, they're terrific too. Then dig into the ribs or the barbecue shoulder. Get it chopped or pulled on a sandwich. A big sandwich, or you can get it on a plate. You've got choice, and you've got choice in places. Don't forget the Germantown Commissary as well. Comes with beans and slaw, deviled eggs they're famous for. And Brad, you can even order by the pound, a 6-pack or an 8-pack or even a 12-pack. The Boss Man salad, the chicken plate, the barbecue shrimp. There's something for everybody, and those great desserts. The best icebox lemon pie anywhere. Or my favorite, the banana pudding. Check out the patio, TVs for sports, and music on the weekends. You love the Commissary.
Add a little excitement to your sports watching experience by betting on all the action on FanDuel Sportsbook. There's a reason why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Their app is simple to use. They've got great odds on all different betting markets, unique, fun bet types like same-game parlay, and exclusive always-on promotions such as enhanced odds boosts on the biggest events to let you get more action out of every game day. And if you win, they even get you your winnings safely in as little as 24 hours. If you've never tried FanDuel Sportsbook, what are you waiting for? Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started, and be sure to sign up with promo code CASH so they know I sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code CASH. Must be 21 and older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only, $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable site credit that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line at 1-800-889-9789.
Hey, Jeff Allen, it's a great day to be happy in a new Kia from Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah. What you got going on?
Randy, we'd love to make you happy with the all-new 2023 Kia Seltos LX all-wheel drive. Just $257 per month for 36-month lease and only $29.99 due at signing. Or how about a 2023 Kia Sportage LX front-wheel drive, $287 per month for 36-month lease, $34.99 due at signing.
That's what I'm talking about, Jeff. You got me happy.
And listen, Randy, if you don't see what you want, no problem. We'll order exactly the perfect ride for you, and you choose your own bells and whistles.
Plus, equipped with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia Mount Moriah.
2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com. $650 acquisition fee, $30,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage, 0 security deposit. Seltos P738, 6423, MSRP 25325. Sportage P709, 8842, MSRP 27955. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Kia. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/1/2022. Dealer stock only.
Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Choate's is offering some amazing specials for this month only. If you're considering upgrading your furnace before the cold weather comes, Choate's is offering $1,000 off a new Carrier furnace. If you don't need a new furnace, Choate's is now offering its early bird $60 furnace tune-up. This 22-point tune-up includes a free carbon monoxide test and heat exchanger inspection. And Choate's is your indoor air quality expert. For the best quality air for you and your family, it's recommended to have your air ducts cleaned every 8 years. This month only, Choate's will install a free UV light system when you get your air ducts cleaned, a $500 value. Call us at 347-8086 to take advantage of these amazing deals. So, turn to the experts with Choate's, and remember, let our family serve your family.
Collierville Auto Center is all about trucks and Jeeps, and the inventory is all stocked up. Been looking for that special ride? You're covered from the basics on up. Want to sell your truck or Jeep? Then bring it in and get a fair deal. The technicians at Collierville Auto Center know just about all there is to know when it comes to trucks and Jeeps. So don't be afraid to ask questions. They've probably heard them all. Every truck on the lot has been fully serviced from top to bottom and bumper to bumper, and there are warranties available. Collierville Auto Center, 651 West Poplar in Collierville, and online at colliervilleautocenter.com.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Genuine diamonds, baby.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
If you missed it last night, Aaron Judge, home run number 61 to tie Roger Maris's American League mark. He'll still have a week's worth of games to eclipse that number, but finally got it done last night in Toronto.
And the Cubs beat the Phillies for the fifth time this year.
Just be quiet,
Phillies
for
now
goodness
just
sakes.
a half game in front of Milwaukee for that final wild card spot. It would be a real disaster if they were to miss the postseason because they can't beat the Cubs.
Can somebody kidnap this guy? Please, just kidnap him. Yeah, it's sweat time for me.
You should be asking somebody to kidnap the Cubs team so maybe the Phillies could win a game today.
Should I bet against the Phillies and maybe in reverse? Like, I never win bets pretty much, so maybe I bet against the Cubs, or I bet with the Cubs rather against the Phillies, and then I reverse jinx it because I won't win the bet and then the Phillies will win the game.
If you'd have been betting on the Cubs at every one of these games, I think the Phillies have been a favorite in every one of them, so you'd be doing quite well.
Be raking up. Memphis has announced that their pro day will be on October 6th, next Thursday. That is not open to the public, but the Tiger players, including Kendrick Davis, ranked the #1 transfer player this upcoming season. They'll get to showcase their stuff. Memphis Grizzlies announcing that a week from Sunday, they will have an open practice at FedEx Forum. Grizzlies camp continues with the first exhibition game on Saturday, or preseason game, I guess they call it. And then on Monday will be their first of 2 home preseason games. The PGA Tour has filed a countersuit against Live Golf. That happened yesterday. It won't go away. They claim the Saudi Arabian-financed circuit has interfered with existing contracts that it had with its members. The counterclaim was filed as part of the PGA Tour's response to the Live Golf's federal antitrust lawsuit against the Tour, which Live Golf claims the PGA Tour illegally suspended players for competing in Live Golf tournaments and is wielding its monopoly power to squash the competition. Jeez. Jay Monahan, man, he won't let it go. That guy is going to battle until this thing is no longer. Yesterday we had the news that Liv may have a place to broadcast, paying for airtime with Fox and FS1, but there's some caveats to that deal as well. They're not getting a guaranteed second year if it does happen, and other things that are in the contract if they sign the contract. This is pretty interesting from the National Football League. This is not good for me with my team, the Colts, with Jonathan Taylor. But according to Adam Schefter, an Ironman streak quietly came to an end yesterday when Colts running back Jonathan Taylor, this is incredible, missed his first football practice due to a toe injury. Until Wednesday, Taylor never missed a practice at Salem High School in New Jersey, at Wisconsin, or with Indianapolis.
It's pretty impressive.
That is an Ironman streak.
It's tough to do. That's real impressive for a running back.
Man,
if
man.
Get banged up, they take a practice off here or there for sure. So, especially at Wisconsin, many carries he got there and everything else. That's actually surprising that he never missed a practice there. Sunrise located at 670 Jefferson Avenue when it comes to breakfast and lunch. Just an absolutely fantastic place. The breakfast menu, including the great biscuit sandwiches and many other things on that menu, including like 9 different kinds, I believe it is, of Bloody Marys you can choose from when you go see them at Sunrise. Lunch menu with some great sandwiches like their Memphis hot chicken sandwich or the bacon cheeseburger that you can choose off the lunch menu when you go check them out at Sunrise. You can go to sunrise901.com. You can check out the menus there. You can also order online for pickup. Makes it very easy. You order online, you just pop on in there, grab your food, and you are out the door and on your way. So you can beat the lines, although even if they have long lines, they move people along so quickly in there.
They do.
It is not an issue. Again, second location coming to East Memphis. Again, it should be just about any day now. I have not checked with them yet to know, but it is supposed to be just about any day now that they're going to be opening up that new place, the old Blue Plate Cafe building in East Memphis on Poplar Avenue. And I can't wait for that. Check them out again online, sunrise901.com. Right now, you can find them at 670 Jefferson Avenue. And in the very near future, you'll find them in East Memphis on Poplar Avenue.
Pair of starters on Alabama's defense considered day-to-day as they deal with injuries. That's ahead of Saturday's big showdown in Fayetteville against Arkansas. Nick Saban told reporters that defensive end Byron Young and safety Jordan Battle were able to practice some earlier Wednesday. Hopefully, they'll both be ready for the game, but injury watch for Alabama in their game against Arkansas. And one other note before we take a timeout, Aaron Judge, we talked about his 61st home run last night, continues to lead in all three of the Triple Crown categories. Home runs, RBI, batting average. That would be absolutely incredible to win the Triple Crown while breaking the American League record. He's tied. I think he'll get there as long as they pitch to him. They finally did last night, and he homered. But that's amazing. For somebody to be able to knock off Shohei Ohtani and what he's doing, had to take a special season from a special player. And that's what's going on with the Yankees' Aaron Judge. We will take a timeout. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli. The AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour is on the way right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Want to sleep better, manage pain, ease anxiety, or just feel better? Have you tried hemp? Hemp 2.0 is a locally owned and operated full-service retail CBD and THC store in Collierville. Hemp 2.0 carries only the best and latest lines of all hemp-derived products, with over 100 different brands to choose from to meet all needs. Whether you want to combat pain and inflammation, sleepless nights, arthritis pain, or stress, Hemp 2.0 has something to improve your overall health and well-being. If you're looking for an unbeatable, uplifting, and euphoric feel, Hemp 2.0 now also carries all federally legal hemp-derived THC products. Have questions? Come by Hemp 2.0 and meet their knowledgeable staff or visit shophemp20.com. At Hemp 2.0, they provide a quality range of the best CBD and THC products, including edibles, topicals, smokables, tinctures, vapes, and their newest edition, infused drinks. Experience the finest, all natural products at Hemp 2.0 today. 3670 South Houston Levee Road in Collierville. Hemp 2.0, your one-stop shop for health, wellness, lifestyle.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder. It's been a particularly rainy season, and that stain on your ceiling isn't getting any smaller, exposing your family to the possibility of mold. Let me come take a look. 867-0303. Our technicians are Owens Corning Platinum Preferred, so don't let someone tell you that it has to be replaced if all you need is a repair to get several more years of life. 867-0303. Have me on your speed dial for when life's little catastrophes come up. 867-0303. Upgrade your roof to a beautiful Owens Corning Duration Architectural Shingle with a 50-year warranty and an unheard of 25-year labor guarantee. I'll measure your roof from outer space and give you a competitive estimate right over the phone. Buy now and pay nothing till 2022 with approved credit. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
It's a hot summer's day. You just finished cutting the lawn. Maybe you're getting off the golf course. You need something to refresh you. I've got just what the doctor ordered. In fact, it's called Poppy's Pills. Poppy's Pilsner. That's the best, and it comes from Grind City Brewing. It's light, crisp. It is that refreshing Pilsner. They say it's ultra crushable. Remember how Taco Bell stopped selling the Mexican pizza? Everybody lost their minds? Poppy Pilsner is the only thing that can ease that broken heart. Now, that came from an eyewitness named Sarah. Some people say it's sexy. It's light, it's refreshing, it's local. And for me, well, it just doesn't get any better than that. Ultra crushable, built for speed. It's available in 6-packs or 15-packs. You just ask your favorite retailer about it. Best enjoyed ice cold. It's what the doctor ordered. It's Poppy's Pills from Grind City.
BetUS.com is back for our 29th year of football action. With the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 200%, BetUS offers our members the chance to cash in on all your favorite sports. Sign up at BetUS.com or call 1-800-79-BET-US, where the game begins.
There's a certain group of heroes that don't get nearly enough credit. These are the hardy souls that work the third shift, and Sunrise on Jefferson celebrates you. When you get out of work, when everybody else is getting out of bed, head to Sunrise to have breakfast and a Bloody Mary with your tribe. You'll feel right at home at Sunrise because you'll be able to look around and see people just like you, worn out and ready for the perfect breakfast cooked fast and fresh just for you. If you get done with work at Sunrise, then obviously you should head to Sunrise.
Strike out cancer with the Grizzlies at the inaugural Grizz Bowl, presented by Gossett Motors, benefiting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital on October 5th at Andy B's in Bartlett. Get your company involved in the cause and bowl with the entire Grizzlies team and coaching staff. Visit grizzlies.com/GrizzBowl for more info. Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show, right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM, your Mid-South sports station.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Sports 56 traffic.
We're still working at accidents on Austin P Highway at Jocelyn and Covington Pike, between Covington Pike Road and Austin P Highway. They're all the same accident from early this morning. Also, still working accidents on South Parkway at Jackson. New accidents on Central at McLean, Highway 385 west at I-240. The center lanes are blocked. So, guys, just take it easy out on the roadways. This is your Sports 56 traffic update.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour brought to you by Acura of Memphis. It's time now for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. Here are your hosts, Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Harold Grader.
We welcome you back to Sports 56 Mornings on this Thursday, September 29th, 2022. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Zach Boyd, and soon to be joined by Harold Grader. As each and every Thursday during the college football season, it's the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. We are in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40. If you're just heading to work or wherever you may be driving around and are just tuning in, wondering about how hot we'll get today. Well, we'll get to 75, which is absolutely perfect. Currently 55 degrees, sunshine, should be a Chamber of Commerce day in Memphis and the entire Mid-South as we welcome in our friend Harold Grader.
Good morning, and it is a very leisurely morning here at Sports 56 with you guys.
It always is. It's not intense unless you're having a problem
You've
with
already put the pool away for the summer? I noticed it wasn't where it normally is.
The pool away?
The pool. Did you put it away?
The pool away.
Put the pool away.
Away. I'm sorry, my diction.
We closed it. We closed it for the winter already. It's got the cover on it.
So you heard me talk about family leisure, and you thought about pools,
hot tubs,
spas, and hot tubs, and all that good stuff.
Try to put one in the corner there. Now that I got one at home, I kind of get spoiled. Like I need one here as well.
We got the world famous Pick Six that'll be coming up later on in the show. One of you will go up against one of us for $25 in Piggy Bucks from Central Barbecue. So we're a month into the season now.
Yeah.
Obviously, two conferences that you're concerned with is the Big 12 and the SEC. So I'm going to ask you two questions.
Yeah.
And I'll do it one at a time. That's how it usually works. In the Big 12, we saw Oklahoma fall. We saw Texas lose to Texas Tech. We've seen Kansas State get knocked off by Tulane. Who are the best teams in the Big 12? There's a lot still. Now, Oklahoma State had a bye week. They're still undefeated. How do you see through 1 month the Big 12?
You know, unlike in past years, you know, when it was Oklahoma, maybe Oklahoma State, or Oklahoma, Baylor, typically, traditionally, a couple of teams at the top of the heap, and then it was everyone else. That is, to your point, and your question is, it's not that way this year. And I think that makes for interesting competition, interesting games. Obviously the story of the year so far in the Big 12 is Kansas, I would say, 4-0. Lance Leipold has his team playing well. And, it's interesting. And that's good for everybody. That's good for the league. It creates interest. Where do things go? I mean, I think there are some key games this week already. West Virginia plays Texas. Neil Brown at West Virginia starting to feel a little pressure there. Obviously, we know what's going on in Austin as Sarkisian tries to get the Texas program on the right track, and they seem to be on the right track. But can that momentum continue? So those are two coaches that need wins. Speaking of Kansas, big game, maybe the game of the week, and it's the game we're featuring in our newsletter this week at the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Iowa State at Kansas. And
who would have ever thunk it with Kansas?
Exactly. And Kansas is a school that, we've been talking to for several years of, if you ever get there, we'd love to have you, or at least have the conversation of having you. And, for us, that started back at Media Days in Arlington. And, I visit via Twitter, or not Twitter, but via text every week with those guys. Check in if they win, which they have done. Hey, congratulations. We're keeping an eye on you. So that's a game to keep an eye on this week.
Well, certainly the Nebraska folks might be keeping a very close eye on that game.
Well, here's the thing. You could end up having, by the way, do you know if they travel well?
Kansas?
Yeah.
No, because they haven't been to a bowl game in 12 years. However, I will say this.
Looking reason to travel.
Right.
Yeah, they
that's my point.
That's
what I'm getting to.
You look at the enthusiasm level there, sold out crowd compared to, I guess it was pre-COVID, I think, when I made a stop in there a few years ago. And Les Miles was there. You thought there might be some energy there. Jeff Long was the AD. And it was just a kind of atmosphere. That is not the case in Kansas. I think they're a very attractive potential bowl team. I think the enthusiasm is there. The excitement level is there. And if they get to 6, wherever they go, those fans are going to travel. I mean, they're just, chomping at the bit to follow their team and celebrate their team.
So the coach won't be traveling with them probably. More than likely, he'll be gone. He's doing such a great job.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Another big game, as we were talking about what typically happens in the Big 12, Oklahoma-Baylor. By golly, it's in Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State at Baylor this week.
That's a big one.
Another key game in the Big 12. Then you have Oklahoma at TCU, Texas Tech, Kansas State. And so it's right now it's a free-for-all. And that's good for the league, and we'll see who emerges. And and right now, I would say obviously a big game for Kansas. And I don't want to overstate it, that they're going to win the championship, but until somebody knocks them off, and they're playing good football.
It is weird when you look at the Big 12 standings, and right now Kansas is at the top.
Absolutely.
Two of the three. If you look at the standings right now, 2 of the 3 teams at the bottom are the 2 that are going to the SEC: Oklahoma and Texas.
You look at it right now, you're like, wait a second, I thought I clicked on the football standings. This is the basketball standings.
And by the way, do you agree with what Harold said? I mean, I know what he's saying, and it makes a lot of sense that you want all your teams good, right? But in the Big 12 situation, knowing that you have Bama, Georgia, Ohio State, you're trying to get to a 4-team playoff. When it opens up to 12, it's a different ballgame. But is it good to have parity? Don't you want to have one dominant team to get to the playoff?
Well, you want one team to stay undefeated, but you need other good teams for them to beat along the way to improve their resume. So you want everybody to be good, and they still have undefeated teams. They just
they do.
There are.
I mean, Oklahoma State is
undefeated. If Kansas rolls the table, we're going to have our own party for them here in Memphis.
Yeah. I mean, is it great that Oklahoma lost? Maybe not.
Yeah. Perhaps.
We're Texas now.
There are 3 undefeated teams in the Big 12.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas at the top of the heap at 4-0.
Right.
Oklahoma State 3-0. TCU 3-0.
Oklahoma State would have the best chance in my
opinion. They're already a top 10 team. I mean, if Oklahoma State loses to Baylor this week, that their playoff hopes for the conference are starting to get a little grim.
Yeah. And speaking of the Big 12, I think you guys may have talked about it either earlier today or maybe earlier in the week about what may be happening in the Big 12 as far as adding teams. There was an interesting quote from a gentleman who's a part of the group that's going to work with the Big 12, because as the new commissioner, Brett Yormark, said at his introduction media press conference, that the Big 12 is open for business. And that is starting to have some legs and actually come about in a tangible way. They announced yesterday, the group of companies that are going to be working on their global broadcast sponsorship and commercial strategy. And here's the key quote. It ties into what I think you guys have been talking about that was reported by CBS. Here's the quote from the president of Endeavor, one of the companies that's going to be working on this. Here's the quote. There are a lot of buyers out there, and college sports is top of the heap alongside the NFL. The demand of premium college sports has never been higher, and the Big 12 is extremely well positioned. The opportunity is massive, and if we can add more schools that geographically fit into our programming windows, we're all for it. And I think, and we've talked about this on this program several weeks ago, I think when they talk about geographically fitting in the context of their media rights deals going down the road, I think what was reported by CBS, they're not talking about, unfortunately, schools like Memphis. I think they're looking west because they want to add that Pacific time zone for television purposes. Because right now, if they add schools in the Pacific time zone, then they have every time zone from coast to coast available for television programming. So that does, unfortunately, I don't think that bodes well for the Tigers' aspirations of potentially moving to the Big 12. But you never know.
We were talking about it in hour number one.
The Tigers' hope in this whole thing was that the Pac-12 stayed together, and it's looking less and less like the Pac-12 is going to be able to stay together.
And I was going to, despite the reporting, the stuff that I read, from presidents and ADs out there, again, maybe it's just happy talk, but the public quotes are, we're together. What is it? The 10, or we're hand in hand. We're locked arms.
We're together till we aren't. That's
it. And Eli, you're probably right, because that is the reality of college athletics right now. They're together until they aren't.
Well, here's the thing. If Notre Dame is still a player in this whole thing, obviously a big player, but even if Notre Dame gets the deal from NBC, decides they want to stay independent, if the Big Ten wants to go to 20, right? If they want to go to 20, that's the report from Dennis Dodd, that they would bring in Cal, Stanford, Oregon, Washington. The Cal thing would be probably that whole relationship with UCLA, put out the fires out there from their border regions who want them to stay in the Pac-12. They're already getting, again, USC, UCLA, at least that's what we know of. You would add those four, Oregon, Washington, strong, Stanford academics and everything, and all other sports great. Football, they've been good at times. And then Cal. That would leave 4 teams in the Pac-12. And that's where the Big 12 comes in, that they would gobble up Utah, Colorado, Arizona, Arizona State.
No, that's not all of the teams in the Pac-12. Oregon State and Washington State still
exist. Oh, I forgot about those two. Yeah, they'll have a 2-team league out there. No, they
go to the Mountain West.
It's the end of the run
or something.
They'll be just.
It's the end of the run.
And listen, if they're just trying to get to 20 and Notre Dame says we're coming, then probably Stanford or Cal gets.
Exactly. Yeah. But let me finish this thought.
Sorry, we didn't know Notre Dame wanted to do this.
You said the Big 12 going to try to go to the Pacific Coast, the time zone, right?
Zone.
Utah and Colorado. I know Colorado's going to be Mountain time zone.
Yeah.
Utah.
BYU.
Is Utah also in the Mountain?
I believe
time
that's
zone?
right.
So is Arizona State in the Pacific or in the Mountain? Because I'm
Pacific, I believe.
The reason I bring that is you're talking about them trying to go to the Pacific, which you're absolutely right. It would have to include Arizona State in there, or then they're looking at 4 Mountain time zone teams.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was going to double check on that, but I don't know. I mean, again, it's just speculation.
Yeah, Phoenix is Pacific.
Okay, so you would grab the West Coast.
Yeah.
I forgot about the poor Beavers and the 4 Cougars.
Yeah.
And actually this year, they're not bad in football. Both of those teams are pretty good. They both had losses last weekend, but I don't know where that would go. Like you said, maybe the Mountain West, but you're talking about Power 5 conference programs dropping down.
Right.
It's almost like relegation
in
soccer over in England.
Yeah. But then if all of that were to happen, though, then you're just talking about schools just fighting for survival and a place to land.
Yes, but your point,
survival of the fittest.
But your point about Memphis,
you can do.
Your point about Memphis is there's nowhere to go. Again, unless the ACC, which could still have the SEC pluck some teams from there.
That's right.
And they could land there. There's still the chance. And that's why they're doing, again, everything they can to try to get themselves into position if things like that happen.
Yes, and I'm glad you took the conversation in that direction, Greg, because despite all of that stuff that we're hearing and we're talking about, the University of Memphis can't let up on the pedal. You got to keep it all the way to the floor, keep doing what you're doing.
And it would help if more than 20,000 people showed up.
It would help if more than 20,000 people showed up, and and I've talked about that when I take my AutoZone Liberty Bowl cap off, and I talk from the perspective of an alum and a donor and a supporter. It's got to be all hands on deck, Tiger fans, and I know right now. Life may not be that easy with the economy and everything going on. I get all of that. And you have to make decisions. You have to make priorities of how you spend your dollars. I get that. So do what you can and show up when you can. And it's interesting. Do you see a crowd like that? And I knew, just from history that it was going to be a challenge anyway. But then you hear comments from Lane Kiffin this week about I guess it was when they came out from halftime, right?
Yeah, the students were all gone.
Yeah, students were gone. And, I think his quote or something close to it was, it looked like a high school game crowd.
Right.
And, as the dad of a college student, and, our daughter goes to the University of Alabama, and, obviously their fans and their students are as rabid and fanatical and excited and energized as anybody. But again, and even going back to our older kids that all went to football playing schools, that to get this generation of kids into the stadium is a challenge. And but it's not just about the students; it's about the adults as well.
Exactly, more so in Memphis.
And that's really what I encourage the students, get there, support your fellow schoolmates. But Tiger fans, stand up strong, and support this football team. And again, something that that I've been talking about this season, these critical games for Tiger football, and so far they have found a way to win. It hasn't been maybe artistic or a beautiful way to play football, if to put it that way, but a win is a win. And the Tigers just have to keep winning, and they need to win Saturday against Temple. It's going to be an early game. That ain't easy. And then you're sitting at 4-1. If you get the win on Saturday, then Houston comes to town for Friday night, and the Cougs aren't playing that well either. So if the Tigers can stay focused, continue to improve, continue to work on the things they need to work on, and I was in the office, so I didn't hear the interview. You had Ryan on this morning,
yes.
Right? It is there, and it's not a stretch for after the next 2 weeks. The Tigers are sitting there 5-1.
Well, they're in first place right now. They're tied for first with the Navy win over East Carolina. But they could be 2-0 on Saturday, 4-1 overall, like you said.
Yeah.
And then Houston comes to town. Even though they've had some losses and some infighting, it's a very talented team.
It is.
But what can you expect on a Friday night? It will be nationally televised, just like the game will Saturday against Temple. But on a Friday night when there's high school football, what type of crowd are you looking at? And what are you looking at for Saturday? A beautiful, perfect morning to go watch football, an early afternoon against Temple.
Yeah. So I say all that to say about the Tigers. They're on a streak. The opportunity to go to 4-1 and then 5-1 is there. If you can't get excited about winning, again, whether you like the style of play or what's happening on the field, that's a different topic. But the Tigers are winning, and if you can't, Tiger fans, stand up and go support that when your team is winning, whoa, Nelly.
No, Harold, you're absolutely right. And again, you're one to speak because you're a Memphis alum, and I've been here long enough now, 27 years, to realize really that the base of Memphis fans, and Eli, you can agree or disagree, is about 20. How do you get
Right.
it to its 30? So
Right.
then when you play better opponents or the team's on a roll, you can get it up to 40 consistently. But I'm talking about a base going from 20 grand to 30 grand. How can
Right.
you do that?
Right. Well, I think winning is the secret there.
Is it though? But I mean,
that's part of it. I should say it's part of it. And the other piece is the fan experience.
Yes.
And that's something that I give a lot of credit to Laird Veach, Jeff Crane, that leadership team
The
over
vision,
there.
right?
The vision for that and recognizing that. And that's why this year, last year the first year of all the different premium areas, trying to create different fan experiences for different levels of participation, whatever it costs.
The problem is
knowing that it's not just about the product on the field. It's not just about winning, even though the winning cures a lot of ills and hopefully creates excitement. But it's all about the fan experience, and the Tigers are doing their best to do that in various options at the stadium.
By the way, let me correct myself, and thank you to the friend who texted me this. Arizona doesn't do daylight savings time. That's why they're 2 hours behind us right now. But I don't even know if we're turning clocks back again. I thought we were getting rid of that.
I think it's in November.
I think it's still there.
We're still doing it.
I wish we would stop.
They were supposed to be getting rid of that. What happened to that?
I think eventually they will.
There was one point, in the early spring, they said we were doing away with it. Never
Right.
happened. But so that Arizona is actually in the mountain time zone, but they just don't do daylight savings time. So right now they're 2 hours behind us, but they'll only be an hour behind us once we turn our clocks back.
So what does that mean? Are they bringing in Pacific time zone teams or not? Because
No,
you're talking
they're
about okay,
mountain time zone.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So they won't even
Okay.
be into that footprint. But anyway, continue.
The thing with that, the whole thing, this is, and we've talked with Jeff Crane all about it, and that's why I've brought it. The students don't get the students don't go to the game. You as a Memphis alum, you aren't used to going to games because you didn't go as a student. So you get out of school, like going to the games wasn't something you did. So you're not like, oh, I want to keep going to games. If you could figure out a way to get the students, I don't know what that is. Hell, at least the Ole Miss ones show up for half. Memphis has 20, 30 kids in that student section. I don't know. Again, I don't know how to do it. I don't know what the answer is. They've moved them closer to the stadium. Because again, a lot of them are out there tailgating. They just aren't willing to walk into the stadium.
And Eli, again, as the dad of a college student and currently and having boys with that same experience, and one of my sons went to an SEC school as well. That's the experience. This generation of young folks, they like to gather, hang out, enjoy one another. When do they walk into the stadium? Maybe never.
Yeah.
Or they come in late and they leave early. I mean, and that's a trend that has been that's been happening for several years.
Right.
And I think that part of that's just generational. Bringing it back to the Tiger situation, it's. I think there are more students living on campus now, I believe, but it's not the same as having your stadium on campus to go down there. But it's the demographic of the traditional Memphis student. It's a university commuter school where a lot of the students work. So when you have a daytime game, are a majority of your students working during the daytime hours versus, hey, you work during the day, but I can go to a night game. And so we'll see what happens. Saturday's 11 o'clock. Get up, have breakfast, tailgate, whatever, and let's get there.
But Harold, you hit it on the head earlier when you said this is not just students. Memphis will never have this huge conglomerate of students going in there. They never will have that. What's the most important thing now is the young generation, the second and third in line to go to the University of Memphis. I'm talking about younger kids. Right. That their parents and grandparents taking to the game, they have to pick up the baton and run with it, because if they don't, then that core that they have starts to dissipate as well. We saw the increase for what was the game they got 32-6 was the home opener. They got 32-6 and it dropped to 23. Arkansas State. They offered the $5 tickets. Now, my thought is, listen, if you can get 10,000 people buying $5 tickets as opposed to nobody buying a ticket, that's still revenue.
Right.
So it's maybe finding other companies other than Kroger to pick up, and maybe you hate to have that out there that every game you're offering a discount.
Devaluing your product.
You are. But
that's why I buy season tickets when I can just go get a $10 ticket for any game.
But money is, that's a great point.
Yeah.
But money is money. You want to have as many seats. And the other thing, of course, is, and you just and that's we don't even need to go there because we brought it up so many times. Is the on campus is never happening.
Right.
They're talking about the $150 to $200 million renovation of the stadium,
Right. Which goes to the fan experience.
Which goes to the fan experience, which is going to be fantastic. I think it's a fantastic stadium.
And we all hope it happens.
Well, hopefully it happens. But again, when you're talking, if you had a 40,000 seat stadium or a 35,000 seat stadium, then it doesn't look as bad with all those empty seats. When you have a cavernous 64,000 stadium and you have 23,000 in there, it looks empty.
Yeah, right now it's 50, 57, 58,000.
Is it down to 50? But even so, it's the same point. And you have the television cameras that face where the lower bowl is empty compared to what the other side is,
Lots
the Tiger
of
side.
empty blue chairback seats.
Exactly.
And
those are just people dressed like chairbacks.
Oh.
That's what they're wearing blue.
It's the blue man. It's the blue man group. They got a lot of them that come to the game.
They give away T-shirts that look exactly like a chairback. That's what I do.
Well, we are in the midst of football season. It's a perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Download the app, which is simple to use, because right now new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Just sign up with promo code GASMAN. Again, if you want to do the same game parlay, it's a bigger payoff if you hit. If you want to do a single bet, that's fine as well. Again, if you lose, you're getting free bets back. If you win, obviously, you're cashing in. Miami-Cincinnati is a tough game. I probably should have stayed away from this one. Cincinnati is a 4-point favorite at home. I'm going Dolphins as long as Tua's playing. I think it's a 3-point game in the end. Cincinnati wins by a field goal. Miami would cover with the 4. I like a couple of touchdown passes from Joe Burrow and Chase Edmonds to score a touchdown for Miami. All on the app that is safe and secure and super easy to use. Again, download the FanDuel app today. Sign up with promo code GASMAN for your no-sweat first bet. That's promo code GASMAN. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or over, present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling issue, call Tennessee Redline. They can help you out at 1-800-889-9789. All right, we'll do our world-famous Pick 6 when we return. Eli, that means we need a contestant.
Caller number 4. Caller number 4 at 901-360-8255. 901-360-8255. Caller number 4 will have a chance to win $25 in piggy bucks from Central Barbecue by going up against one of us, picking 6 games against the spread. Caller number 4, an opportunity to win some barbecue, some delicious barbecue from Central Barbecue. Caller number 4, 360-8255.
You're tuned into the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour here on Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli, right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Let former Memphis Tiger Gabe Kuhn and Brett Norsworthy take you home every afternoon with Sports Time on Sports 56. Weekdays from 3 to 6 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey everybody, the deals are back for Chevy's truck season. I'm out here in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevy where you can save $1,000 on a new Silverado 1500 or HD with all the accessories you want. 1.9 financing is available on the new Equinox and your good credit deserves it. Or just take the $1,200 in cash, your choice. For tailgating or fall road trips, Kevin and Jeff are spot on making it happen. Or just pre-order what you want. And be sure to check out the certified pre-owned Chevys. All the pre-owns you're looking for, all here in Olive Branch. Or go to allstarautogroup.com. Jeep Wranglers, Tahoes, Grand Caravans, Ram, Laramie trucks. And if you want to sell any car or truck, bring it here to Jeff or Kevin at All-Star and get a check for some crazy good money today, even if you owe on it. And you don't have to buy a thing. And Gary in All-Star Chevy Service has specials on full synthetic oil changes, tire rotations, and brake specials. Remember, it's not the Pike, not South Haven, not Mount Moriah, Bartlett, or Collierville. Find new roads to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Hi, this is Lauren Choate with Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing. Choate's is offering some amazing specials for this month only. If you're considering upgrading your furnace before the cold weather comes, Choate's is offering $1,000 off a new Carrier furnace. If you don't need a new furnace, Choate's is now offering its early bird $60 furnace tune-up. This 22-point tune-up includes a free carbon monoxide test and heat exchanger inspection. And Choate's is your indoor air quality expert for the best quality air for you and your family, it's recommended to have your air ducts cleaned every 8 years. This month only, Choates will install a free UV light system when you get your air ducts cleaned, a $500 value. Call us at 347-8086 to take advantage of these amazing deals. So, turn to the experts with Choates, and remember, let our family serve your family.
Golfers, now in Edwin Watts Golf Shops, it's time to hit faster, longer, and straighter with Titleist. The new TSR drivers are designed to maximize distance and elevate your performance. Titleist TSR driver, pushing for perfection every day. Come into Edwin Watts Golf Shops for the new Titleist TSR drivers and get custom fit for free today. Can't make it in store? Visit us online at worldwidegolfshops.com. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee and family owned and operated since 1968.
If you need glass replaced, there's only one name you need to know. Binswanger Glass, the largest full-service glass company in the U.S. They've been an industry leader for over 145 years. For all your residential, commercial, or auto glass needs, Binswanger Glass is the name you need to know. 24-hour emergency service for all commercial customers, plus a nationwide warranty on all professionally installed glass. Visit Binswanger Glass in Midtown at 340 South Hollywood across from the Liberty Bowl. Visit binswingerglass.com. Binswanger Glass.
DeSoto Auto Sales specializes in late model cars with low mileage. They have the highest standards in the car industry. All of their cars are test-driven, checked out from head to toe. Unlimited inventory, every make and model. And if it's not on the lot, they'll find it for you. Walk in the door of DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Within 45 minutes, you can test your car, get credit approval, and finish paperwork within an hour. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Kind, courteous employees, a down-home environment. DeSoto Auto Sales cares about your time. Lowest prices in a 350-mile radius. We're living in a world today where time does matter. Visit them online. Check out their referrals. DeSotoAutosales.com. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and other surrounding areas. DeSoto Auto Sales, 5704 Goodman Road. Call 662-890-7184. 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto Auto Sales.
Football is here, and this season, my 46th as a professional handicapper. More than any season before, you need my help when it comes to sports wagering. The transfer portal has made it impossible for the average fan to keep up with college football. Take advantage of our experience, contacts, and information and get season service, college and pro football and college basketball for $1,000. Total cost, no add-ons or extra charges. Every play we make through the NCAA Final Four championship. 5 losing seasons in 45 years is a phenomenal record. Last season, 65.5% against the spread, including a 13-4 record on our 10-star plays. Call me, John Rainey, the Rain Man, at 901-461-4600. That's 461-4600, and get seasoned service for $1,000. The Rain Man and All-Star Sports. You can't do any better.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Now, more of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. Here are your hosts, Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Harold Grader.
We welcome you back to Sports 56 Mornings and the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. Before we bring on our lucky caller, it's Chuck who will be going up against one of us this week. Last week it was Jeff, and Jeff was a winner. Jeff went 3-3, went up against Harold, who was 2-4, and Jeff did that without the bonus, too. We forgot to get his bonus, so congratulations, Jeff.
Yeah, congratulations, Jeff. Enjoy the barbecue.
$25 in piggy bucks from Central Barbecue. Harold was 2-4, Eli was 2-4, Jeff was 3-3, and I was 4-2. I was 4-2. I had a good week, and I missed the bonus again. Did not get that one. I had Memphis, and they did not cover. All right, so here we go. Let's bring on our caller, Chuck. Chuck, how are you this morning?
Hey, how y'all doing?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for getting in. Thanks for listening. We appreciate it. All right, the most important question, who are you going up against?
Eli.
Oh, bring it on, Chuck. I've had a couple of bad weeks in a row. That might, I don't know if that means I'm due or if you've got me at the right time.
So funny, when anybody goes up against Harold, Harold says, enjoy the barbecue. Well, Eli says, bring it on, man. Bring it on.
Well, I didn't want to overtalk Eli. Chuck, enjoy the barbecue.
I'm saying he's
I know
he's
Harold's
so
gonna say it.
competitive. He's so competitive. All right, gentlemen.
I'm not going to lay down.
Chuck will go up against Eli. 6 games against the spread. Let's get going. It's always customary to begin with Mr. Grader. It's going to be a fun day in Oxford, and it starts very, very early as they will take on the Ole Miss Rebels, the Kentucky Wildcats. Kentucky getting a full touchdown. We're going Kentucky +7 at Ole Miss in a battle of undefeateds. Harold?
Oh, yeah, this is going to be a great one. I think SEC Nation, SEC Network's going to be on site down there. Early start, the 11 o'clock game. I think it's going to be really good. And, when you look at this one, one of the nuggets that jumps out at me is that Ole Miss defense against Kentucky and Will Levis. Ole Miss has the second most sacks in the SEC, I think only to Arkansas. So they've done a great job of getting to the quarterback. So for me in this game, can Kentucky protect Will Levis from that Ole Miss pass rush? I'm going to give the nod to Ole Miss. I'm going to say Ole Miss wins, and I'm taking the Rebels in this one.
So you're giving the 7?
Yep.
Let's go to Chuck, our caller. Chuck, what do you think?
Kentucky.
Kentucky plus the 7. So you differ from Harold, but how do you differ, or if you differ, from Eli? Eli, who you got?
Yeah, I mean, this is just so tough because I just don't know what Ole Miss is based on the competition they've played. So it's hard to judge them. Now we finally get a good team that they're going to play. First time these two teams have played is when they were both ranked, by the way, since 1958.
Wow.
So it's been a little while. Not knowing exactly what Ole Miss is, I feel like it could be maybe a little bit lower scoring. I'm going to take the points. Full touchdown, I'll take Kentucky.
All right, so right off the bat, you and Chuck differ on this one. Yeah, I'm not sure either. And also with Kentucky, I mean, they beat Northern Illinois by a touchdown, but they do get Chris Rodriguez back, and you would think that would be instant help to the running game. Will Levis is good. Ole Miss is improved defensively, and Ole Miss can run the ball. They can sustain drives. So I think it'll be a lower scoring game. I'm going to take the points as well, and Kentucky. So 3 for Kentucky.
Who did Chuck take?
Chuck took Ole Miss. No, he didn't. I'm sorry. That was Harold. Harold took Ole Miss. Chuck's got Kentucky, so you are the same on that one. All right, we move on. Temple, Memphis. Temple gets 19 points. That's the line we're going. It's now at 18.5. It opened up at 20. Chuck, you're first on this game.
I'll take Memphis.
Memphis, and you will give the 19. All right, Eli.
Well, as I went over earlier, the Temple offense is terrible. Defense is good. They've covered every meeting ever with Memphis. 7-0 against the spread against Memphis. So I'm going to take Temple. They've just kind of been a thorn in the side, and 19 points is a lot.
Okay, so there's the first one. You guys differ, Chuck and Eli. I've already talked about it earlier today. I couldn't believe it was a 20-point spread. I guess the bookmakers in Vegas saw those defensive touchdowns for Memphis. And if that happens again, obviously if Memphis can score with their defense, they'll win easily and cover. I think they'll win the game, but Temple's got a defense. And as long as Memphis doesn't put it on the ground, they win. But Temple getting 19, I'll take the points. Harold?
Eli, I wish you hadn't had that list of points about Temple.
7-0 against the spread. Now you can say
that was the big one.
Memphis is due.
Yeah.
Memphis is due.
But, golly, you know what? It's Temple. It's Temple.
They've lost 2 of the last 3. Memphis
The
has
Tigers
to
are going to win the football game, and they're going to cover.
Whoa. That sounds like a guy who went to the University of Memphis and has a degree from the school.
My stat earlier, I used this with Ryan Silverfield. Back-to-back weeks, Tigers playing quarterbacks, 10 years age difference.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's crazy.
Kurt Warner's son, he's 19. Last week they played a guy who was 29.
Wow.
All right, so 2 for
Can't say
Memphis.
that in college very
Harold
often.
and Chuck, 2 for Temple, Eli, and myself. All right, big one in Fayetteville.
Ooh.
Alabama gives 17.5. Alabama
So if
gives
Alabama gets 17.5.
Yeah.
I'm on board with Alabama. Sign me up for
17.5
Alabama.
at Arkansas. Arkansas, a tough loss against Texas A&M. Could have easily went their way. Eli.
Alabama's won 14 straight over Arkansas. A lot of those have been blowouts, but last year was close. Arkansas losing by 7. Last year it was number 21 Arkansas versus number 2 Alabama. This year it's number 20 Arkansas versus number 2 Alabama. I think 17.5 is too much at Arkansas. I know it might be a little tough to get up off the mat after last week's heartbreaking loss for Arkansas, but there should be a little anger there, and it's Alabama coming to town. I'll take 17.5.
Look, I like the Razorbacks. I don't think they took a step backwards last week by any stretch of the imagination. And Alabama, I still don't know how good they are. Are they better than Georgia? Are they behind Georgia? They almost lost to Texas. They've blown out teams that are average, but now they got a big test. But I'm going to take a chance that they are that good. I'm going to give a lot of points here, 17.5, and I'm going to take Bama in Fayetteville to not only win but to cover the big number. Harold?
I think there are questions about Alabama, and those questions linger this far into the season. I like the 17.5. I'm going to say Alabama's going to win the game close, but I'm going to take the Hogs in the 17.5.
All right. Chuck, how do you see it?
Got to go Bama. I hate to say it, but yeah, I'll take Alabama.
All right, so you're going to give the 17.5, so that's the second of the three that you differ from Mr. Savoy. We move on. Texas A&M, just talked about them with the win last week. The win prior to that, they beat Miami, and then they had lost to Appalachian State, so they've bounced back nicely. They're getting 4 at Mississippi State. I pick first. I love the Bulldogs. I think Mississippi State will win this game. They will win between 7 and 10. They'll force a couple of turnovers, I think. A&M struggling with that offense and especially that passing game. So give me Mississippi State. Harold?
Yeah, I'm liking the Bulldogs too. And, I think Mike Leach really likes his team, and they continue to play better each week. The offense is in a really good place. They picked up the tempo a little bit more as to where he likes it. And I'm not sure they're even to the point where he wants to get them as far as tempo, but that's a key part of what his offense does. I'm with you, Greg. I like the Bulldogs. Give me State.
Will Rogers, 6 touchdown passes last week, albeit against Bowling Green. Chuck?
Hail State all the way.
Mississippi State. Sounds like a Bulldog fan. Is that?
Yes, I am.
Okay, there we go. So 3 have picked Mississippi State. What say you, Eli?
A&M ain't fooling me with that defensive touchdown last week. They had no business winning that game last week. 8 of the 10 games between these two teams since A&M joined the conference have been decided by double digits. This will be another one. Mississippi State, easily.
So a sweep. All 4 of us, for the first time today, all agree on a game, and it is Mississippi State to knock off Texas A&M. We go to the ACC, big one here. NC State plus 6.5 at Clemson. Harold?
Clemson wins, but I'm going to take it's 6.5, right, for NC State? Yeah. Give me the Wolfpack.
You got the Pack.
Yeah.
Chuck?
I'm going to go with Harold. I'm going to take the Pack.
Okay. Eli?
And I have this one. I might as well flip a coin.
You're not a big fan of their quarterback, right, Leary?
I mean, I haven't seen him a lot, but when I watched him, I was like, this guy isn't that impressive. Now, neither is DJ Uiagalelei either. And
yes.
I thought Clemson was going to kind of make a statement last week and say, listen, we are actually pretty good, and the defense gives up 45 points. So I'm going to take Clemson at home. They lost to them last year, so maybe there's a little anger there for Clemson. So I'll take Clemson at home to get it done by the touchdown.
I'll tell you this. If DJ Uiagalelei struggles, they're bringing in that other kid. This is too important of a game. This would knock Clemson out of the playoffs.
NC State hasn't won at Clemson since 2002, so I'll go on that trend.
Yeah, and I do really believe that, and I'm picking Clemson as well, but I do believe that they lose, even a one-loss ACC champion, I don't think is going to get in. So,
and if they play the other quarterback, all the broadcasters and everybody that has to say the guy's name, and I'm not going to attempt to say it. The starter.
DJ Uiagalelei.
Uiagalelei. It's easy to say.
It rolls off the tongue.
Take the other guy. His name's easier to say.
Chuck, give it a shot here. DJ Uiagalelei.
I'm not even going to try.
I'm with you, Chuck. We'll just call him DJ.
All right, we move on to one of the games we were talking about to start this hour, and that's Oklahoma State-Baylor. Big game in the Big 12. Oklahoma State gets 2. They did have a bye, right, last week?
Yeah.
So they're coming in fresh against the Baylor Bears. Chuck, you pick first here.
I'll take Oklahoma State.
Oak State for Chuck. Eli.
I'm going to go Baylor. I don't know why.
Because they're
at home. Really just because they're at home. I think this could be a really tight game. I'll take Baylor.
Yeah.
Saw Baylor lose to BYU, then BYU got steamrolled by somebody. I forget who it was. I'm not so sure Baylor's as good as everybody says they are. I'm going to take a shot with the week off, the rest, that Oklahoma State, with Gundy, they go in there and they win this game. So Oklahoma State is my pick. And then Harold?
Yeah. Just to give a little bit of information when you were talking about Baylor. Opened the season with a win over Albany, lost in double overtime at BYU, beat Texas State, beat Iowa State.
Good win over
So they
Iowa
come in.
State.
So I think this one is going to be close. I think Baylor's going to win it like in a field goal type of game.
So they would still cover,
Yeah,
right?
they cover.
So Baylor is
I'm
your
taking the Baylor Bears.
pick. All right, so as far as the battle between Chuck and Eli is concerned, you differ on Memphis Temple. You differ on Bama and Arkansas. You differ on NC State and Clemson. And you differ on Oklahoma State and Baylor.
And we got to do
Bonus.
best bet.
Yep, now our
Yeah.
best bets.
Best
Harold,
bet.
you're first.
Bulldogs. Mike Leach, Mississippi State.
Chuck, which one's your best bet? Mississippi State?
Mississippi State.
I figured that much. Eli?
Yeah, I don't want to necessarily do the same one, but I've already got marked, so I don't want to change it. I have Mississippi State.
Saving ink.
Yes.
Man, oh, man.
Conserving whatever ink comes from.
I'm going to say, all right, just to be different, because I was going to do Mississippi State, I'm going to go with Oklahoma State. I know it's a tough game to pick for a best bet, but I've been bad with the best bets. All right, Chuck, listen, good luck to you, and thank you for listening to the show. Thanks for getting in. Appreciate it.
Hey, can I get a shout out?
Sure can.
Hey, yeah, my kid goes to Olive Branch High School, and we have a big game Friday night against South Panola Tigers. They will be in town to play us Friday night at 7:30. So everybody in Olive Branch area, come on out and enjoy, hopefully, a good game Friday night. So,
Absolutely. I saw that
Thanks,
on the
sir.
schedule, and we'll talk about it tomorrow morning when John Varlas joins us. Thank you, Chuck. Appreciate
Thanks,
that.
Chuck. Yeah, the University of South Panola.
The University.
Yeah, I don't think we can call them that anymore.
They're not quite that
they're
anymore,
not.
are they?
All right.
At best, a junior college at this point.
Folks, if you're having issues with back pain, knee pain, hip pain, shoulder pain, wherever it is on your body, just joint pain in general, I got a remedy for you. It's called QC Kinetics. They're now in Memphis. It's the nation's leader in regenerative treatments to rid you of the pain, and they do it without surgery. I've had some issues with my shoulder and my arm. I had lower back issues. I'm just a mess. I'm a big mess. But I guarantee you, even younger people have that chronic pain that I'm talking about. And they can take care of you with non-invasive ways. Precision medicine with natural biologics. I can't explain to you the science and all that stuff, the medical deals, but they can when you call them for a free consultation. No surgery, as I mentioned, no drugs, and no downtime, so you can keep working and playing, enjoying life to its fullest. Steroid injections will work for a time, but it'll eventually dissipate, and the pain will be back. Regenerative medicine is a long-term answer to your issues. So again, to find out more about this, give them a call, free consultation at 901-445-1010. That's 901-445-1010, 901-445-1010 for QC Kinetics. We'll take one final timeout, come back and wrap things up. This is the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour here on Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Need, want, dream about a new ride? We got it at Gossett Kia on the Pike. 2023 Kia Seltos LX all-wheel drive super new SUV. Only $257 a month, 36-month lease, $29.99 due at signing. Looking for luxury and performance? 2023 Kia K5 LXS sedan. We got it at $293 a month, 36-month lease, $31.99 due at signing. If you don't see what you want, not a problem. Let Bobby J order a new ride for you today. Plus, Gossett Kias come equipped with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, or shop 24/7 KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
$650 acquisition fee, $30,000 per year, 20 cents excess mileage, 0 security deposit. Seltos P 738 6423, MSRP 25325, K5 950 6883, MSRP 26860. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Kia. Excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 10/1/2022. Dealer stock only.
How's Wingstop sound? Crispy, juicy, classic wings. Made to order, cooked to perfection, and sauced and tossed in those 11 soul-satisfying flavors. Paired with hand-cut seasoned fries, house-made honey mustard, blue cheese, or signature Wingstop ranch. And of course, spicy Cajun fried corn. I think you've heard enough. Get your flavor delivered at wingstop.com.
A new era in public safety begins with you. From fire suppression to emergency medical response, these are just a few of the exciting career options with the Memphis Fire Department. Enjoy a rewarding career with one of the most progressive fire and EMS systems in the country. Teamwork with a commitment to excellence, compassion, and immediate community protection. Apply today to join the Memphis Fire Department. For more information or details, visit joinmemphisfire.com.
The Shelby County Sheriff's Office is looking for people just like you to answer the call and start your career as a corrections deputy. If you have a high school diploma and our community is your calling, visit scsocareers.com today.
They call us Big Shelby. We one of the highest paid in the region.
You don't have to have a degree.
The pay here is wonderful. The benefits are wonderful.
I'm really financially stable. I'm able to do everything that I want to do.
Yes, I feel very appreciated.
Are you up to the challenge? Visit scsocareers.com today.
Welcome back to Sports 56 Mornings. This hour brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Now, more of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl Inside College Football Hour. Here are your hosts, Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Harold Grader.
Our friend on Facebook, John, hits us up, says, hope the attendance is better Saturday than it was last week. We all do. Said the weather is going to be perfect for the Tigers. And that's what Ryan Silverfield, one of the things he was talking about was the weather looks to be outstanding. Last Saturday, I'll admit, I'm down on the sideline. It was hot as hell.
It was.
But it's going to be perfect this weekend.
Yeah.
All right, Touchdown Club last week. Yeah. Clark Lee.
And that was fun. He did a great job as expected. His dad was there, retired surgeon. And, Clark has ties to Memphis. His dad went to Central High School back in the day, and I think his mom is from here or has ties to Memphis. So it was great. It was a fun night with Clark. Nick Howell, their defensive coordinator, was with him, and a couple of other staff members. He did a great job in his talk and during the Q&A session, and they were headed to Austin, Texas, to do a little recruiting after the meeting on Monday night. And we're going to congratulate our AutoZone Liberty Bowl Memphis Touchdown Club Prep Player of the Week, who was recognized and honored on Monday night, and that's Max Carroll, the fine athlete from Briarcrest, playing for Coach Brian Stewart. And this young guy, if you haven't really paid much attention to him, he's one of the top recruits in our area, has committed to TCU, plays both sides of the ball extremely well. Great young man, and his twin sister, Mylan, was there along with his mom and dad. And last Friday night, Sister Mylan, you got the brother on the field as the star, but Sister Mylan was named the homecoming queen at Briarcrest, so that was fun.
Very nice.
It was great to have the Carroll family there on Monday night and to recognize Max. And Touchdown Club is rolling along. We encourage you to go to the website, see when the next meeting is, join in. We have some great speakers coming up, including the Tigers' Ryan Silverfield later in the month of October. So you want to talk college football and be around some fun folks and have a big time, enjoy a good meal, go to the Memphis Touchdown Club website and their Twitter, and they have Facebook as well with all of that information. And then on things, more business involving the AutoZone Liberty Bowl, we are getting going with our Tag a Teacher program as we continue our season-long partnership with the College Football Playoff Foundation. So if you'll check us out on Twitter, tag your favorite teacher, or if you are a teacher, tag yourself, and we'll be picking a teacher to recognize and honor every week starting next week. You'll receive a gift card from Donors Choose, where you can use that to buy supplies and resources for your classroom. So proud and happy of our association with the College Football Playoff Foundation and supporting and recognizing teachers throughout the season.
This half of our program is brought to you by Acura of Memphis. Go check them out, Ridgeway at 385, online, AcuraofMemphis.com. Great automobiles, great people to deal with as well at Acura of Memphis.
And as we meet again next week, it'll be October, Harold. So obviously, just a few months after that, it'll be time for the game. And folks, maybe they should have the number memorized, but just in case, how do they get tickets?
Absolutely. The number at the world headquarters of the AutoZone Liberty Bowl in beautiful downtown East Memphis, 901-795-7700. And as we go into October, just to bring back a phrase from the past that used to be said often on this radio station, Locktober.
Locktober.
Remember that guy?
Who would say that?
Next, Greg Roberts.
Greg Roberts.
Oh, okay.
Next Thursday will be my birthday, so you got a week to get me a gift. I'm just letting you know.
Thanks for the heads up. Let's see, my calendar for next Thursday.
See, I threw that out there for not only you to hear, but for everybody out there in Lister Land to hear.
You'll be on the phone
What is
next
that?
Thursday.
What's the date? October 6th?
Yes.
And you'll be how old?
48.
You don't look a day over 70.
I'll take whatever you feel is generous enough for
It's all how you
48-year-old or a 70-year-old.
It's all how you feel. I feel like I'm 90. So anyway, that'll do it for today. We got Wolo coming up next with Wolo and Friends on Sports 56. Thank you, HJ.
You bet.
We will do this again next week. Big thanks to Harold and, of course, to Tigers head football coach Ryan Silverfield. Tomorrow we're back here bright and early, starting at 7 a.m. As I told our contestant, John Varlas will join us at 7:25, as he does every Friday, and he'll talk prep football with a lot of big showdowns. Also, a gentleman by the name of Matt Deutsch is going to join us from the Better Sports Network. Something new. We'll learn about that. Brandon Lang will give us some of the NFL and college football breakdowns for his handicapping, plus 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. We'll recap the Thursday night NFL games, some college games that are taking place tonight. That'll be all coming up tomorrow, starting at 7 a.m. So for Eli Savoy and Zach Boyd and Harold Grader, I'm Greg Gaston. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, everyone.